The little apprentice has just learned the horse step. My feet are filled with ever-changing demeanor. Just give him a broken sword manual. I understood the supreme swordsmanship directly in my mind. All this is just because I am bound to a wonderful destiny. As long as you accept disciples and teach martial arts, I can gain 100-fold increase in strength. 5 years ago I traveled to this big river and lake. I took over this sword shop that was about to close down. But in today's world, it's difficult to eat stew. The bullies in town are coming tomorrow. Forcibly smash this dilapidated signboard. My useless apprentices are afraid of being implicated. He climbed over the wall to escape overnight and ran away without a trace. Before leaving, he also plundered all the copper coins in my house. All that's left for me is a sneer and a roll of the eyes. The empty yard is bleak in the autumn breeze. I'm left alone to face this desolate misery. It's a shame that this ancestral inheritance could not be preserved. But even if the sign is going to be chopped into pieces tomorrow, I still live slowly and leisurely, walking towards the old bluestone medicine stove. Anyway, I am idle and have nothing else to do. I want to stay up one last night to take these 5 years of bitter medicine. Just watch the last sunset with Broken Sword Pavilion. Back then, I destroyed my own meridians to save the world. He ended up as a useless person who couldn't practice cultivation. Everyone in the world has forgotten my kindness and dedication. Now all I have left is this broken and weak body. But just when I picked up the pill and was about to drink it, the dilapidated courtyard door was violently kicked open. The arrogant laughter left everyone speechless and dusty. The person who came was none other than Qian Wanjin, the overlord of the city. Behind him were a dozen burly men shouting, holding a bright mounting-cutting knife in his hand. Threatened to destroy my poor place today. I didn't even raise my eyelids and remained silent, still blowing the bitter hot air in the bowl gently. At this critical moment, a thin figure suddenly stood in front of me. That's a weak girl in blue and green clothes. She opened her arms to protect this useless person like me. There is a perseverance in the eyes that will never back down. She screamed angrily at Qian Wanjin. I won't allow you to hurt my master even a hair. My master is the hermit's best swordsman. As long as the old man draws his sword out of its sheath, you will all turn into ashes. Hearing this, Qian Wanjin looked up to the sky and laughed wildly, laughing at this girl that she is daydreaming. But just as the girl finished speaking, the dried-up lungs in my body that have been dormant for 5 years. A sudden surge of warmth as vast as the sea surged in. The broken bones were perfectly reshaped overnight. A bright golden sword emerged from the dantian. That is the legendary Supreme Chaos Sword body. I was shocked to feel the infinite power in my body. It turns out, as long as someone sincerely praises me, trust me 100%, my destiny can make all this come true. I put down the rough one in my hand and it's about to end. Slowly stood up and walked towards the stubborn girl, picking up a dry branch from the ground. Seeing Qian Wanjin laughing wildly, he spoke calmly. Since my disciple says I am the ultimate swordsman, then today I will show mercy and spare your lives. Qian Wanjin thought I was crazy. He swung his heavy sword and struck hard at my door. The blade is sharp and vicious with the killing intent. I waved the dead branches in my hands without any hesitation. A dazzling blue sword energy instantly rose into the sky. No earth-shattering noise. Only the ultimate quiet and cold killing chicken. Qian Wanjin's 100 refined sword instantly turned into chicken powder. He and the dozen or so burly men behind him. The coat on his body was torn apart by the sword energy with precise precision. Only a close-fitting white dress is left. The sword energy even flattened the hairlines on their heads. Everyone will tremble in place. Qian Wanjin fell to his knees with a plop. Kowtowed crazily and begged for Jez's sword, raise your hands and kneel first. Then he and his men rolled and crawled away. The girl turned around and looked at me with admiration, eyes twinkling with bright little stars. Master, you are truly a hidden master. I reached out my hand and gently touched her head. Ask her what her name is and if she would like to become a disciple. She immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed in excitement. Said that his name is Su Qinghan and he would like to always be by master's side. That's how I accepted my first female apprentice. Back inside I found a rusty iron sword. Pass it to Su Qinghan as an apprenticeship ceremony. She took it with both hands and it was as if she had found a treasure. Exclaiming that this sword actually contains traces of the Great Road. As soon as he finished speaking, the rust on the iron sword mirror quickly receded. The blade of the sword emits a cool light like water waves. Directly promoted to the ultimate spiritual energy Qiushui Traceless Sword. I feel the supreme sword intention in my mind. The corners of my mouth couldn't help but turn up slightly, and I was in a good mood. Early next morning, suddenly there was a sound of breaking through the air outside the hospital. 2 elders of Qingyun sect met Gaoao coming. Their trip is to take back this mountain area. The leader was Mo Changkong, who looked arrogant. He looked at the dilapidated sword pavilion with a face full of disgust for BG. Mo Changkong threw down a bag of cheap scraps. Silver. Change your mind in a hurry and look greedy. Su Qinghan must be taken away by force and brought back to the main sect for training. Su Qinghan firmly grasped the corners of my rough clothes. He said that even if he died, he would stay with the master. The elder sneered and mocked me as a waste with no cultivation. Su Qinghan retorted loudly, saying that my cultivation level is unfathomable. You ordinary people don't understand the realm at all. Hearing his disciples' unreserved praise like this, the chaos arrows in my dantian exploded again. The cultivation level soared directly from a mortal to the pinnacle of the psychic realm. I looked at Mo Changkong Yun Danfeng and smiled lightly. Since you, the Qingyun sect, think you are great, then I will go and follow you for a walk. When you look at the ancient events in your sect, can you withstand the careless touch of a loser like me? Mo Changkong casually sent a wide flying sword, signaling Su Qinghan and I to stand up. He said sarcastically that this is a spiritual treasure that can travel thousands of miles every day. I'm afraid that a loser like me has never seen such speed in my life. I stood with my hands behind my back and lazily understood. Su Qinghan stood in front of me angrily. He retorted loudly that this is nothing but scrap metal. If my master meets flying, not even the thunder falling in the sky can catch up with his clothes. You can cross the entire Kyushu in an instant. He just finished speaking. The chaos sword body in my body suddenly trembled. I instantly realized the magical power of Qianpin Daiwanman. Shrink into a shadowless sword and shield. I smiled slightly and took Su Qinghan's hand. Leave a faint sentence to Mo Changkong. You should climb slowly at this slow speed. We are waiting for you in front of Qingyun Zongshan Gate. Then I took the next step. Ripples like water waves appeared in the void beneath my feet. The figures of Su Qinghan and I disappeared out of thin air in an instant. Only Mo Changkong and another elder were left messy in the wind. After they risked their lives and flew for 3 full hours. I was so tired that I felt breathless when I felt the Qingyun sect's mountain gate. I found Su Qinghan and I sitting on the white jade street of Shanmen, eating candied halls of sugar halls bought from the mountain. Su Qinghan shook her calves and smiled brightly. Mo Changkong wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. The way you look at me is like looking at a monster. But he still gritted his teeth and comforted himself. I must have used some one-time magic weapon that overdrafted my life. The Qingyun sect's mountain gate is under the pressure of the sect protecting formation. There is no way anyone without spiritual protection would be able to walk up this ladder to heaven. He snorted and pointed at the 9,999 steps ahead. He said that if you want to enter Qingyun sect, you must go up by yourself. Su Qinghan was just about to pull out the Qiushui Wuhan sword to clear the way for me. But it was hard for me to reach out. I flicked the dust bottleneck opening on my clothes. Why make a fuss over just a few stone steps? Su Qinghan's eyes immediately lit up and she echoed loudly. That's it. My master is the master of the world. The pressure of this broken staircase met my master. I'm afraid he'll be frightened and take the initiative to calm down and kowtow to greet you. Hearing this bottomless compliment, I immediately felt that the pressure between heaven and earth was completely ineffective against me. Not only failed, I even feel that the entire Qingyun mountain spiritual veins are surrendering to me. I took Su Qinghan and strode up the steps. The formation that was expected to make a mortal vomit blood had no response at all. On the contrary, we did not take a step forward. An illusory aura elf is born on both sides of the steps. 9,999 steps. I was forced to walk out of the miracle step by step. All the Qingyun sect disciples guarding the mountain were dumbfounded. He rolled around and ran to the main hall to report. When we reached the highest square, Liu Chengfeng, the leader of Qingyun sect, has already led 36 feudal lords to form a strict formation. Liu Chengfeng is a pioneering middle-aged man. But the way he looked at me right now was full of vigilance and greed. He pointed at the 10-foot-tall black boulder in the center of the square. That is the ancient sword stone that is famous in the northern wasteland. Liu Chengfeng spoke with a smile on his face. Since you are able to make a living step by step, you must be an expert. You might as well leave a sword mark on this sword stone. It might also open the eyes of my Qingyun sect. In fact, I know exactly what they have in mind. This sword stone is made of ancient cloud iron. Nothing but good fortune can do without leaving any traces. Once bitten by a stone, in the smallest case, the meridians are cut off, and in the worst case, death is caused on the spot. Su Qinghan also saw the evil intentions of these people. She nervously pulled on my sleeve, but the next second she puffed up her chest and spoke proudly. You, a piece of broken stone, worthy enough for my master to test his sword. My master can touch it casually. He will turn into powder. I took a deep breath and walked towards the dark boulder. Thousands of disciples in the audience held their breath, waiting to see me make a fool of myself. I raised my right hand and placed it lightly on the stone surface. At first there was no response for 1 or 2 breaths. The crowd suddenly burst into laughter. Mo Changkong mocked unscrupulously. Said that I am really just a pretender. Lie? But just before his laughter fell, where my palm touches the stone, suddenly there was an extremely dazzling golden light. This was followed by a heartbreaking cracking sound. Click. The cracks instantly covered the entire stone staff boulder like a spider web. In the deathly silence of the whole place, a loud bang. Famous in the northern wilderness, the ancient sword history has been passed down for 8,000 years. It actually turned into powder flying all over the sky. And in that powder, a drop of sword marrow that is as red as blood is quietly suspended. This is actually the legendary ancient sword heart that has meant thousands of years. I opened my mouth and sucked it in without politeness. Swallow this priceless drop into your belly. The chaos arrow in Dantian instantly erupted into lava like cheers. My realm has soared crazily again. Perfect psychic state. Early stage of divine fire realm. Middle stage of divine fire realm. It didn't stop until the peak of the divine fire realm. The entire Qingyun sect square was silent. Everyone looked up at him like a god. Sect leader Liu Chengfeng was trembling all over, falling to his knees with a plop. Shout out to seniors for their power. Ask me to serve as the supreme elder of Qingyun sect. Other feudal lords also knelt down and begged. But I feel bored. He waved his hand to reject them. I said I rejected them with my bare hands. I said I am used to being idle. Liu Chengfeng can't keep me now. I didn't refuse this time. After all, the little apprentice needs nutrition to grow his body. We left the Qingyun sect in such a big way. Returned to that dilapidated sword pavilion. With this huge sum of money, we renovated the Jiang'e. I also bought several acres of fertile land. Lived the most luxurious mortal life in the world of immortality. Every morning I lie on the Taisha chair and bask in the sun. Su Qinghan was swinging her sword hard in the yard. She is a very sensible child. Even with such great murderous intent as the Qiushui traceless sword, I still insist on practicing the most basic hacking and stabbing skills. One day at noon, I personally cooked a pot of carp soup. The milky white fish soup exudes an alluring aroma. I became a big bowl of ground for Su Qinghan, who was sweating profusely from practicing. She took it with both hands and took a sip. Suddenly Bata burst into tears. I frowned and didn't ask him what happened. Is it hot? He shook his head and looked at me with red eyes. Is it hot? He shook his head and looked at me with red eyes. Said the soup tasted exactly like the one his dead brother made. Looking at the crying little apprentice, the softest place in my heart seems to have been lightly poked. I sighed, reaching out for a clean handkerchief. Gently wipe away the tears and mud spots on his face. Silly girl. Why are you crying? From now on, where the master is, it's your home. As long as master is still breathing, I will never let you suffer any further grievances. Days without enough food and clothing. It's past. Su Qinghan raised her red face, big eyes still sparkling with tears. She sniffed, looking at the steaming bowl of fish soup in my hand. His voice was hoarse, but he said firmly, Master, you are not only the most powerful swordsman in the world, he must be the most skilled doctor in the world. Even the cooked fish soup, they all contain life-guiding jade that can bring the dead back to life. Just take a sip. All the fatigue from the whole body is swept away. Even the soul is sublimating. She just finished speaking. I just felt a strange wave explode in my mind. In my originally empty mind. A sudden influx of countless ancient and mysterious medical texts. Shen Nong's herbal classic, Tai Dis Golden Medicinal Guide. The true method of rejuvenating all things. These divine medical skills only exist in legends. In an instant, I was perfectly integrated. Even the spiritual power in my body. They all have a rich vitality that cannot be dissolved. I looked at the ordinary cooking hand used to stir fish soup in my hand. At this time, there was a faint green light. I couldn't help but twitch the corner of my mouth. I sigh silently in my heart. This girl's mouth. It's true that no matter what you say, it can become a reality. However, this feeling, so damn sweet. After eating and drinking, the little apprentice touched his round belly. He began to disappear in the yard with a satisfied look on his face. I'm lying on my revised idea, wandering leisurely, looking at the vibrant scene in the yard. Indescribable comfort in my heart. Master, I feel a lot stronger today. Can I start practicing more powerful moves? Su Qinghan is holding the Qiushui traceless sword in her hand. Look at me eagerly. I smiled slightly. He shook his head and said, Qinghan, practice together. Kneel on the ground. Tall buildings rising from the ground. Weak foundation. Earthquakes and mountains shake. Master won't teach you sword moves today. Only teach you the most basic exercises. Zamabu. Su Qinghan listened. No disappointment or slackness at all. Instead, he nodded seriously. He took a deep breath. Legs slightly bent. Raise your hands flat. A standard horse step was set up in the center of the yard. The moment he stood firm, suddenly there was a clear sound in my mind. Ding. Your apprentice Su Qinghan is practicing basic horse steps. It is detected that the host has 100 times feedback destiny. 100 times feedback has been launched. Congratulations to the host. Obtain a 100-fold increase in physical strength. Obtain heavenly body skills. God's changes. Boom. I just feel a wave of pain under my feet. A terrifying force as heavy as a mountain and the moon. Instantly integrated into my limbs. The originally slightly thin body. At this moment, it was as if he had turned into an ancient behemoth. Contains explosive power that destroys heaven and earth. I try to move my toes slightly. I just feel as light as a swallow. As if as long as I want. Can blend into the wind at any time. Thousands of miles in an instant. I suppressed the shock in my heart. I suppressed the shock in my heart. Pretend to be inscrutable. Slightly sweaty hands. Not bad. The posture is very standard. Keep it up. Su Qinghan gritted her teeth. Fine beads of sweat gradually appeared on the forehead. But her eyes are extremely bright. He persisted, while looking at me with admiration. Master, can you give me some advice? I feel like there are great laws resonating in the void. The posture you just stood in, seemingly random. In fact, it coincides with the unity of nature and man. In Qinghan's eyes, Master, you are like a statue. The divine moon standing between heaven and earth. Let all disasters come. I can't shake you even a bit. With the little apprentice's heartfelt admiration, the power in my body surges crazily again. The cultivation level that had just broken through to the peak of the divine fire mirror. At this moment, I condensed again. There are faint golden chains of law and gods intertwining around the body, exuding a heart-stopping terrifying pressure. I quickly restrained my breath. I'm afraid that this force will collapse the newly repaired yard. Looks like I need to let this girl talk less in the future. Otherwise sooner or later I will be blown to the sky by her. Go side by side with the sun. Sunset. Fly into the sky. Go side by side with the sun. Sunset. The afterglow of the setting sun shines on the blue tiles of Jiang'a Pavilion, reflecting the soft light jade. It's getting late. I plan to take Su Qinghan to Chiefeng town at the foot of the mountain to buy some rice, flour, grains, and oils. Buy some fresh meat on the way. After all, although practitioners can take shelter from the rain, but life always needs some fireworks. Moreover, it's the time when the little apprentice's body is growing. Don't be hungry. Master, we going to the market? Su Qinghan wanted to go down the mountain when she heard this. I was suddenly as excited as a child who could make a fortune from 100 stones. She carefully carried the Qiushui Wuhan sword behind her back. Then he wrapped the sword tightly with a piece of coarse cloth. In her words, this is called not exposing wealth, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. I watched her skillful movements. Can't help but be funny. This girl has a good guy at getting by. The repairing wind array is not far from us. It's only half an hour's walk. Along the way, mountain flowers blooming, breeze blowing. Su Qing is still like a happy little butterfly, jumping on the mountain trail. He was still humming an unknown tune. Master, the flowers in the mountains are so beautiful. Wait until we go back. Also in the yard. We went back. Is it good to plant it in the yard? Good. I listen to you, I responded with a smile, looking at her carefree back. A feeling of satisfaction arose in my heart for no reason. 5 years ago, in order to save the people of this land, resolutely destroy the meridians, seal the catastrophe with a mortal body. When the crisis is over, the world has forgotten my contribution. Even the sects I once protected. He also treated me coldly. Let me fend for myself. I thought I would spend the rest of my life in this broken gap. Spend the rest of your life in misery. But I didn't expect. God gave me a chance to start over. Not only did I have this magical destiny, he even sent me such a considerate little apprentice. This life. Not only do I want to get back to the top, and let those who betray me, people who forget me, repay 100 times. Unconsciously, the ancient archway in Qiufeng town already appeared in front of you. People come and go in the town. Cry. Bargaining sound. One after another. Busy. Su Qinghan looked left and right, full of curiosity about everything. Master, look at that handsome man. It's like pinching you. Su Qinghan pointed at a little noodle maker. It's like pinching you. Su Qinghan pointed to a noodle maker's stall, pulling my sleeves excitedly. I looked in the direction of his finger. I saw that man in white clothes, holding a wooden stick in hand. It's quite similar. I smiled. I'm about to pay for it. But suddenly I heard on the street not far away. There was a loud noise and cries. Blind your dog eyes. You dare to fight even when the Lai Yang sect is doing something. Call me. Hit hard. Let's see if he dares to be an eyesore here in the future. Hearing the 3 words Lai Yang sect, the expressions of passers-by around me changed drastically, like hiding from the plague, quickly spread out to both sides. I frowned slightly. Wrinkle. His clothes are shabby, face covered with ashes and blood. But he clung to a rusty hammer. Let those fists and kicks fall on you like raindrops. He also insisted on keeping silent. Behind the boy, one is pale, terminally ill woman. He was crying and wanted to rush over to protect the boy, but he was held down by 2 bullies from the Hunting Sun sect. The cry is so miserable. Stop, you bad people. Why bully people? Su Qinghan couldn't stand this kind of bully behavior. Suddenly he was so angry that his face turned red. When you do something, you have to draw your sword and rush forward. I reached out and held his shoulders. Tell him to be calm and calm. I looked carefully at the boy who was beaten and covered in blood. Surprised to find, this boy's bones are amazing. Although the meridians are blocked, but there is an extremely pure feeling in the body. The extremely tough sword intent is flowing. That's a natural sword bone. And it's the top-notch unparalleled sword bone. Just because of the lack of guidance from a master. Plus frail and sickly. Malnutrition. This unrivaled reputation has been tarnished. Even the throat seems to be unable to fire due to poisoning. Is a mute. Stop. Who is farting? Those outer disciples of Lai Yang sect heard the sound. They all stopped what they were doing, turning his head arrogantly. When they saw Su Qinghan, who was light and refined. Eyes suddenly lit up, showing greed and evil eyes. Yo, where did this little beauty come from? He looks so handsome. Why do you want to stand up for this little mute? Then it's better to go back to Lai Yang sect with your brothers. Brothers, I guarantee that you will eat well and drink spicy food every day. Ha 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 ha. Several people laughed unbridled. Didn't notice at all. My eyes have completely turned cold. Su Qinghan was so angry that she was shaking all over. He pointed at the bullies, turned around and said loudly, Master, these bad guys are so infuriating. You can poke them into pieces with one finger. You are the light of righteousness in the world. I will never let these bad guys go. Boom. As Su Qinghan's words fell, the spiritual energy in my body surges out like a volcano erupting. A terrifying and boundless supreme pressure. In an instant, the whole neighborhood was covered. The clouds in the sky seemed to have stopped flowing at this moment. The original noisy rush suddenly fell into deathly silence. The smiles on the faces of the disciples who were hunting sheep froze. I just feel like there is an invisible mountain. Press hard on their shoulders. Thump 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 thump. Several people simply could not bear this terrifying pressure. Legs are weak. Kneel firmly on the ground. The hard blue stone floor was smashed into cracks. Cold sweat instantly soaked their backs. I walked slowly to those people. Look at them condescendingly. The voice is calm but without any warmth. Disciples in sheep hunting. Such virtue. Senior, spare your life. Senior, spare your life. We are too blind to see Mount Tai. Please let us go, Senior. The leading disciple was so frightened that he lost his mind. Kowtowed desperately on the ground. I didn't dare to stop even though my forehead was smashed until it was bloody and bloody. In the face of absolute power. Their little bit of mighty and demonic cultivation. It's as ridiculous as an ant. Roll. I faintly uttered a word. Withdrew the pressure. Those people are like giant snakes. Rolling and crawling to grab accessories on the ground. Don't even dare to say a harsh word. Disappeared at the end of the street in the blink of an eye. The surrounding townspeople saw. They all let out suppressed exclamations. The eyes that look at me are full of awe and longing. Thank you, Immortal, for saving your life. Thank you, Immortal. The sickly woman struggled to crawl over. Thank you, Immortal. The sickly woman struggled to crawl over. You want to kneel down and kowtow to me? I quickly waved out a soft spiritual power. Drag her up steadily. Eldest sister. Not necessarily possible. The road is rough. We should help. I said with a smile. Then he came to the young man. Kneel down and look at him. The young man was already a little confused at this time. But he still stared at me. There is no fear in the eyes. There is only a shocking stubbornness and desire. He opened his mouth. Seems to want to say something. But he could only make a hoarse sound. I reach out my hand. On his wrist. A gentle spiritual energy penetrated his body. It was discovered that he was not only born with his bones blocked by dust. There is also an extremely rare chronic toxin in the body, leading to vocal cord necrosis. Atrophy of meridians. If you don't take up the job as soon as possible, I'm afraid I won't live to be 18. What a poor child. Master. He is so pitiful. Please save him. You must have a solution, right? Su Qinghan squatted aside, looking at me eagerly. He has blind confidence in my medical skills. In his eyes, I am the omnipotent god. Master has great medical skills. Even the Prince of Hell from Jiuyo Underworld met. The Prince of Hell from the Nine Netherworld met you. Everyone should serve tea politely. Cued a little mute. That's not a capture with a knife. Buzz. Tai Di's golden helmet medicinal strategy in my mind. A bright light burst out instantly. Countless acupuncture methods and prescriptions flash in my mind. I don't even need a needle. Extend your index finger directly. Pointer to needle. Clicked several times on the boy's chest and throat. A trace of black poisonous blood. It flowed out from the corner of the boy's mouth. The poisonous blood fell to the ground. Makes a dull corrosive sound. Immediately afterwards, the boy's face began to turn rosy at a speed visible to the naked eye. The originally dry meridians, nourished by my spiritual power, begin to rejuvenate. The boy only felt a warmth in his throat. An unprecedented sense of comfort spreads throughout the body. He tried to open his mouth, with a dry and trembling voice. Spelled out a word with great difficulty. Thank you. Although the voice is still a little hoarse. But he can indeed speak. Oh my God, it's really good. The miracle doctor is really a living god. The surrounding townspeople saw this scene. Suddenly there was an overwhelming cheer. The sick and weak woman even cried with joy. Keep chanting the immortal blessing. The young man froze in place. He listened to the sound he made. I can't believe this is true. He suddenly turned over and knelt down in front of me. Dong 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 kowtowed 3 times. Look at me. Eyes full of fanatical admiration and determination. Immortal. Please accept me as your disciple. I want to learn sword. I want to protect my mother. Even if you are a cow or a horse, I'm also willing. Looking at the young man with firm eyes in front of me, I smiled slightly. Asked, what's your name? Return to master. The disciple's name is Ning Xiaochuan. Good. Ning Xiaochuan. From today, you are the second disciple of my Jianghu Sword Pavilion. I helped Ning Xiaochuan up, looking at his childish but determined face. said softly. The moment I announced my acceptance as a disciple, the long-lost loud voice in my mind rumbled here. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully accepting the second disciple, Ning Xiaochuan, possessing an unparalleled sword bone. Due to the outstanding talents of the disciples, the host gets 100-fold feedback. Feedback with 100-fold merit. Congratulations to the host. Cultivation level is promoted to the early stage of Divine Sea Realm. Obtain the best heavenly elixir. 3 9-turn yellow soul pills. Obtain heavenly swordsmanship, the sword that created the world. Rumble. I just feel like there's a giant dragon awakening inside me. Violent and pure spiritual power, running wildly in my meridians, finally gathered in the depths of Dantian, turned into a vast golden divine sea. Divine sea mirror. In this world, those who can cultivate the divine sea mirror, he is nothing more than a sect king who dominates one side. And it only took a few days. He easily crossed the gap that countless people cannot reach in their lifetime. What surprised me even more was the sword intent that created the world. That is a kind of kendo law that is extremely overbearing. Cut out with one sword, can open the sky. Will recover naturally. The result of Ning Xiaochuan's trembling hands elixir. That wisp of medicinal fragrance is just a sip. Just give him the elixir. That wisp of medicinal fragrance is just a sip. It made him feel refreshed. He respectfully sailed me another mile again. After getting up, he quickly ran back to the store. Feed the elixir to the woman. Just a moment. A woman's surprised voice came from the other side of the shop. My body. Why does it suddenly stop hurting? And my whole body is full of strength. Ogawa. What if this was given by a god? Ning Xiaochuan supported his energetic mother and walked out. Mother and son once again expressed their gratitude to me. After settling Ning Xiaochuan's mother, we purchased enough supplies. With a new apprentice, a group of 3 people embarked on the journey back to the mountain. Ning Xiaochuan walked at the back along the way, still holding the rusty hammer tightly in his hand. Although he rarely speaks, but look into my eyes, but full of persistence and loyalty like a moth to a flame. And Su Qinghan is like a big sister. Along the way, he introduced the rules of Jiang'e to Ning Xiaochuan, junior brother Xiaochuan. I tell you, our master is the hidden peerless emperor of heaven. You must listen carefully to master's words from now on. Something is exposed between master's fingers. It's enough to last us a lifetime. Ning Xiaochuan nodded repeatedly. Pain in eyes. The fanaticism in his eyes is even worse. I go ahead, listening to the conversation between the 2 apprentices behind me. I couldn't help but raise the corners of my mouth slightly, although these 2 little guys are better at blowing each other than the other. But it is undeniable, with them around, this day of cultivating immortality, it's indeed a lot more fun. After returning to Jiang'e, it's completely dark now. Sky full of stars, Milky Way like a belt. I pointed to an empty room in a remote part of the yard. Said to Ning Xiaochuan, Ogawa, which room will you stay in tonight? Have a good rest. Come find me in the yard tomorrow morning. Yes, master. Ning Xiaochuan saluted respectfully. Then he quietly returned to the room. A night of silence. Early next morning, when the first ray of sunshine breaks through the clouds and fog, when sprinkled in spaced courtyards, I opened the door, but he found that Ning Xiaochuan was already standing in the middle of the yard early. He put on clothes that were clean but washed white. He is holding an ordinary wooden sword that I gave him yesterday, standing upright in the morning sun, like a sharp weapon about to leave the body. Su Qinghan also walked out of the room, rubbing his hazy sleepy eyes, seeing Ning Xiaochuan being so diligent. Suddenly he stuck out his tongue in embarrassment. Hurry over and stand still. I came to the 2 apprentices. Look at how energetic they are. Nodded with satisfaction. Ogawa, you have seen it in your life. This is a one-of-a-kind kendo equipment. But because I was poisoned before, the meridians are somewhat damaged, so you can't rush to rest on the profound sword moves now. A trace of disappointment flashed in Ning Xiaochuan's eyes, but it was quickly drawn away. Asked respectfully, please give it a try, master. How should disciples practice? I turned around. I found an old iron axe used for chopping firewood in the corner. He casually threw it at Ning Xiaochuan's feet. Start today. You don't need to practice cutting. Go to the woods behind the mountain. chopping 500 pounds of firewood every day, endless splitting, not allowed to eat. Ning Xiaochuan was stunned for a moment, looking at the show of skills on the ground. Even some chipped iron axes. Somewhat at a loss, Su Qinghan saw this, but his eyes shine. He slapped his thigh and shouted loudly, "Oops, junior brother Xiaochuan, what do you know? Master, why are you asking me to do this? Firewood." In fact, it is based on the soul as a guide. Cut off all the complexities in the world, directly to the origin of the avenue. As long as you understand the true meaning of this matcha, cut out with a glance. Even the immortals in the sky have to retreat from the three colors. I stand aside. Everyone is fucked. Good guy. I just saw that the dry firewood in the woodshed was almost running out. I want him to do some housework. Exercise your body strength, by the way. It ended up in this girl's mouth. It directly became the supreme divine power that can split chaos. But before I could explain, buzz. Suddenly there was a low sword cry in the sky. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth fluctuates wildly. At this moment, on the originally ordinary rusty iron axe, it actually bloomed with a dazzling golden light. An unparalleled domineering force. The terrifying sword shadow that desires to rival the heavenly lord, suddenly burst out from the belly, soaring into the sky. Ning Xiaochuan was shocked all over. His eyes became extremely ethereal at this moment. In his sight, what's in front of you may not look so ethereal. In his sight, what is in front of me is no longer an iron axe, but a handle that exudes endless majesty. A peerless weapon capable of opening up the world. Every gap in the government's appointment. They all seem to contain a supreme avenue. Disciple is wrong. Thank you, master, for teaching me the supreme swordsmanship. Ning Xiaochuan trembled with excitement. Kneeled down on the ground with a plop, holding the iron axe with trembling hands. After getting up, like holding a peerless treasure, Wan Lian ran towards the back mountain feverishly. I stand where I am, looking at the tea in my hand that just arrived and I haven't had a chance to drink yet. Then he looked at the domineering sword clothes remaining in the air. I couldn't help but sigh silently in my heart. Okay, just say it is. Anyway, I am now the gate to the divine sea realm. If I explain too much, it will appear that I am not knowledgeable enough. In the next half-month, I lived a very regular spiritual life in Jiang'e. Every morning, Ning Xiaochuan took the sky-opening iron axe and went to the back mountain to chop firewood. His method of chopping wood is extremely weird. It's not about slashing down hard. Instead, use the axe as a sword, or thorn, or pick, or peel. Every axe goes down, all accompanied by faint thunder. Half a month down, the woodshed is neatly filled with chopped wood of even thickness. Even the texture is exactly the same. And Ning Xiaochuan's cultivation level, with the support of hundreds of times of feedback, it's like riding a rocket, racing all the way to the early stage of the psychic realm. This cultivation speed, if it spreads to the outside world, I am afraid that I will scare the geniuses of those big sects to death. Su Qinghan, on the other hand, works hard in the yard every day practicing horse steps and basic chops. With my 100-fold feedback, he practiced for an hour. It is equivalent to others practicing hard for 100 days. Now, although he has not yet learned the magnificent swordsmanship of 1.5 moves, but a sword thrust out, so fast, even the air makes a sharp crackling sound, already faintly has everyone's style. As for me as a master, apart from basking in the sun on the Taisha chair every day, just study those god-level medical skills in my mind. Occasionally cook a pot of spiritual medicinal food for the 2 apprentices. The days passed leisurely and leisurely. Very comfortable. Until this afternoon. This calm was finally broken. At that time, I was lying on the main chair with my eyes closed and meditating. The young apprentice Su Qinghan is in the kitchen with her eyes closed and concentrating. Young apprentice Su Qinghan is busy preparing lunch in the kitchen. Ning Xiaochuan was in the corner of the yard, silently wiping his sky-opening iron axe. Boom! An earth-shaking loud noise suddenly came from the gate of Jiang'e, the pearl-red door that had just been rebuilt. In an instant, he was blasted to pieces by a violent fire spiritual power. Countless sawdust mixed with billowing smoke. Splatter! Who? Su Qinghan holds a wave shovel in her hand. The smiling face rushed out of the kitchen. Ning Xiaochuan also stood up instantly, holding the iron axe in hand tightly. Eyes as cold as knives. Only seen in the sky full of smoke and dust. Dozens of people wearing red robes. Monk carrying a long sword. In a person with a handsome face. Under the leadership of a middle-aged Taoist priest with a goatee on his chin. Barged in aggressively. Each of these people exudes fiery spiritual energy fluctuations. The mount is a blue-colored flaming demon wolf. Every step. They all leave scorched footprints on the ground. Lai Yang sect. The person coming is the overlord of the Chiofeng town area. People from Lai Yang sect. And the leading goatee Taoist. He is the second elder of Lai Yang sect. Red pine nuts. A red pine nut. A famous master who has already entered the early stage of the divine fire realm. Who is the leader of this broken sword pavilion? Get out of here, elder. Chisongzi rides on the flaming demon wolf. Looking down at the courtyard from a high position. The voice is mixed with the spiritual power of the male soul. It made Uva rustle. I slowly sat up from the main chair. Bounced the dust that fell on my clothes. Looking at him calmly. I heard that this is the master of the sword pavilion. I don't know that you have forced your way into my sect. Destroy my door. The so-called He family. You're the loser who pretends to be a fool. Kai Songzi snorted coldly. Eyes full of contempt and greed. I heard that you were in Chiofeng town a few days ago. He injured my disciple of the Hunting Sun sect. He even cured a cripple using magic. Not only that, this elder also heard that. You cheated the ancient sword heart from Qingyun sect. Real. Hurry and hand over the ancient sword heart and the magical prescription that can cure diseases and save lives. Then kneel down and kowtow 3 times to this elder. Perhaps this elder can be merciful. He'll leave you with a whole body. Heard this. I couldn't help but laugh softly. Ancient sword heart. Magical prescription. It turns out. It's because of this heart. Magical prescription. It turns out. I came here for these 2 treasures. Lai Yang sect has relied on some backgrounds in recent years to burning, killing and looting in this area. Do all kinds of evil. Now I see that a lonely person like me is easy to bully. Then he had strong thoughts. It's really a vicious dog that can't change its habit of eating shit. Master, these bad guys have such a big tone. Su Qing stomped her feet angrily. He threw the spatula on the ground, pointing at the red pine nuts and yelling. Just because of you sludge from the ground. It deserves to be seen as my master's supreme treasure. My master is a peerless sword that can destroy mountains and rivers with one palm. In the eyes of master, you ants from the Lai Yang sect. Not even a particle of dust. Master just pops out a drop of tea. Can turn into a huge sea. You'll completely drown you demons who are playing with fire inside. Ning Xiaochuan stood aside. Also gripped the iron axe tightly. Shensheng echoed. Senior sister is right. 75 master. Cut. 1. There is no reservation between the 2 apprentices. Even under some exaggerated flattery. The cultivation in my body is at this moment. Earth-shaking changes have occurred. In that dazzling golden divine sea. Rough waves. The violent spiritual power transformed in an instant. Emanate transformation. Exuding bright light. And the most amazing thing is, a cup of ordinary herbal tea that I just picked up in my palm. At this moment, it became extremely heavy. Every drop of tea inside, they all seem to contain a miniature ocean world. A water-based robber method that exudes terror. I looked at Kai Songzi and smiled lightly. Since my disciple said it, tea can kill hunting sheep. That's it. He'll give you a cup of tea. Arrogance. How dare you tease me when you are about to die? Kill me. Chisongzi was furious. Take a photo of the seductive wolf who is sitting down. The demon wolf let out a ferocious roar, burning with lust all over the body. Open your bloody mouth. Rushed towards me crazily. Dozens of sheep-hunting disciples behind him. They also drew out their long knives. Activate spiritual power. Turn into a sea of fire. Sweeping towards the sword pavilion. The temperature of the entire courtyard rose instantly. Even the air begins to twist and deform. I sit on my idea with a calm expression. A slight shake of his right hand. Put the remaining tea in the teacup. He threw it casually towards the door. Wow. That small cup of insignificant tea. No more noise. That small cup of insignificant tea. The moment I leave the teacup. Suddenly rise in the storm. No deafening roar. Only endless. The surging water weighs as much as 10,000 armies. Drops of tea turned into huge waves in the void. Just a blink of an eye. One is taller than 100 feet. The terrifying water curtain that covers the sky and the sun, condensed out of thin air over the interval. That water curtain contains extremely pure water magic. Every drop of water is heavier than Mount Tai. No, this is impossible. What kind of magical power is this? Kai Songzi looked at the terrifying giant wave above her head that covered the entire sky. The heroic qualities and arrogance on his face disappeared without a trace in an instant. Blood is replaced by endless fear and despair. He was shaking, desperately trying to turn the hammer and run away. But the terrifying pressure of the water system has sealed the entire space. He can't even move a finger. Rumble. A huge wave of 100 feet crushed it like an overwhelming ocean. The moment the rolling flames touched the huge waves, not even a little bit of smoke had time to come out. Just put it out completely. Kai Songzi and his dozens of Lai Yang sect disciples, together with the flaming demon wolf sitting down. Flame demon wolf. At this moment, I was completely submerged by the terrifying torrent. Heavy water like mountains hit them hard. The sound of the drums clicking together became one. Senior, please forgive me. The miserable wail lasted only a moment. It was completely covered up by the sound of rolling waves. Huge waves roared past. We'll hunt all the sheep. Like throwing away garbage. He rushed out directly, carrying them rolling down the mountain road. He was rushed 5 miles away. Wait for the waves to dissipate. The courtyard that was originally scorching hot, restored coolness. There are even drops of water hanging on the green tiles, spotlessly clean. And the mountain path outside the gate has been washed away as smooth as a mirror. Not even a weed was left. In the courtyard, the deathly silence was restored again. Su Qinghan opened her beautiful eyes wide. The mouth is open enough to fit an egg in. She looked at the empty doorway. Then I looked at the empty teacup in my hand. I couldn't help but swallowed. Oh my God, I was just talking casually. Master, you are really. A cup of tea destroyed the Lai Yang sect. Ning Xiaochuan is the divine pigment mother. Look at me. Ning Xiaochuan is the divine pigment mother. The eyes that looked at me were full of admiration that was almost like faith. Master's power. Disciples are far behind. I smiled lightly. Put the teacup gently on the table. The apprentice responded respectfully at the same time. The eyes are full of yearning and determination. And after appeasing his apprentice, I returned to my thoughts. But his face gradually darkened. Although the sheep hunter sect was easily hit in the leg by me, but this also means our little sword pavilion. It has completely entered the sight of the big forces around it. What's more important? Akamatsuko just mentioned the ancient sword heart and the reputation of the miracle doctor. This is obviously someone secretly fueling the fire. Deliberately spread news. Want to borrow a knife to kill someone? Or maybe you want to test my reality. Could it be those guys from 5 years ago? I rubbed the swollen Taiyang Shui. An icy glint flashed in his eyes. Back then, after I destroyed my meridians and sealed the demonic tide. After the river, Mo Tsangtian, the leader of the great rivers and lakes, not only did he fail to fulfill his promise to protect me, instead, he took advantage of my weakness. I took away the supreme treasure seal of life that belonged to me, and cast a dust-sealing curse all over the continent. Erase all mortal memories of me. Let me be a hero from now on. Become a useless person that no one cares about. And himself. Then he firmly sat on the throne of the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. Enjoy eternal admiration. I'm afraid I'm already being targeted. Looks like a storm is coming soon. Master, what's wrong with you? Su Qinghan noticed that something was wrong with my mood. Came over worriedly. Gently pulled my sleeves. I came to my senses. Looking at the clear and concerned eyes of the little apprentice. Most of the haze in my heart dissipated in an instant. I reached out my hand and rubbed his head. Said with a smile. Master, it's okay, I'm just thinking. What shall we eat tonight? As soon as I heard about eating. Su, what shall we eat tonight? As soon as I heard about eating. Su Qinghan immediately threw her worries away. Shouted with shining eyes. Master, I want to eat braised pork. I also want fish soup. Okay, the chef will cook tonight. Cook you a big meal. I stood up with a smile. Walked towards the kitchen. No matter how many storms there are in the future, As long as my apprentice is still there. As long as my strength continues to improve. Mo Tsungtian, your good days. It's almost the end. It's late at night, the mountain wind is howling. The wind makes the bamboo forest rustle. On a cliff in the back mountain of Jiang'e, the moonlight shines silvery white, illuminating a thin but tall figure. Ning Xiaochuan shirtless, holding the sky-opening iron axe tightly in his hand. Sweat flowed down his strong muscles. Reflects a healthy bronzed glow. He took a deep breath. The bones in the body made crisp and clear crackling sounds. In my mind, I kept replaying Master Tian's magical style of killing sheep. That blow didn't use any earth-shattering magic weapon. Nor did he perform cumbersome and complicated mystical arts. Just a random expansion. But it contains the power of despair. The power of despair. Is this the realm of a master? Ning Xiaochuan's eyes flashed with fanatical flames. He held the iron axe high in both hands. The unparalleled sword bones in the body vibrated crazily at this moment. Let out waves of low roars like dragon roars. He exhaled loudly. The iron axe in his hand follows an extremely mysterious conspiracy. He struck hard into the void in front of him. Brush. One line is only 8 palms wide, but condensed to the extreme, showing platinum domineering sword energy. In an instant, he came out with his axe in hand. The night sky was torn apart instantly. Boom. 100 feet away, a huge rock standing more than 10 feet high, under this sword, didn't cause even the slightest obstacle. It was neatly cut in half in an instant, smooth as a mirror. Even the grass in the cracks in the rocks is intact. Yes, are these the 9 great events that created the world, as senior sister said? Ning Xiaochuan looked at his hands, eyes full of shock and ecstasy. He can feel it. I am close to breaking through to the middle stage of the psychic realm, only 1 step away, and at the same time, me meditating in the courtyard room. The thought of me meditating lightly came to my mind again. There was also a clear sound in my mind again. Ding. Your second disciple Ning Xiaochuan practices hard. Successfully understand the first piece of groundbreaking advice. Cut off water. 100 times feedback starts. Congratulations to the host. Gain a 100-fold understanding of the law. Cultivation level has been improved to the middle stage of the end of Shanghai. Rumble. The golden divine sea in my body is expanding crazily again. The spiritual power is so rich that it almost liquefies into crystals. Between gestures, they all seem to be able to induce peace in the avenue of heaven and earth. I opened my eyes, looking at the bright moon outside the window. I couldn't help but raise the corners of my mouth slightly. This kid Ogawa, he is indeed a practicing madman. Go on at this speed. It won't take long. He can face those so-called proud men of the great sects alone. And I, the master, just drink tea and bask in the sun every day. Strength can grow exponentially. This feeling, it's so wonderful. In the next few days, news of the destruction of the Hunting Sun sect. It's like having wings. It quickly spread to all forces within a few hundred miles. An unknown person. The Jianghu Sword Pavilion that has been abandoned for many years. There is actually someone who can destroy the master of the divine fire mirror at a glance. The mysterious sword fairy who is a master of fire mirror is here. This news. It immediately caused an uproar in the entire spiritual world. Countless small sects and casual cultivators led the crowd. Want to visit mountain climbing? I hope to get some advice from this mysterious swordsman. But they were all washed away by Su Qinghan as master. Not seeing foreigners. Very politely turned away. Although you haven't seen me in person. But Su Qinghan, who carries the divine sword on his back. Outstanding temperament. It makes the outside world full of awe towards our Jiang'e. In their eyes. Even the guard girl is so extraordinary. The mysterious swordsman behind that. How terrifying is it? And on this morning, a somewhat special guest, but came to the door of Jiang'e. That's a guy wearing a white dress. Young woman covered in blood. She looks pale. Breath is weak. Holding tightly in his hand half a fragment of an ancient jade seal that exuded a faint green light. Liang choked all the way and fell at the dilapidated gate of Jiang'e. Su Qinghan, who was cleaning the courtyard, testified, suddenly exclaimed. He hurriedly ran over to help her. Girl, what's wrong with you? Wake up. I hear the sound. Also walked out of the house. When I saw the half-piece of jade seal that the young woman was holding in her hand, pupils suddenly contract. The whole person felt like being struck by lightning. That half-jade seal exudes an extremely familiar aura. That's what I used to seal the demon nest back then. The supreme treasure that was later forcibly taken away by Mo Tsangtian. Seal of common people, although it is only half a piece now, and the luster is dim. But I will never admit my mistake. Girl, wake up. I came to the woman. Keep tapping on her forehead. A gentle but extremely huge spiritual power instantly penetrated her body. It was discovered that the meridians in his body had been destroyed by an extremely vicious black spiritual metal. Even the soul is beginning to crack. If it weren't for the faint clear light of this half-piece of hard fragments of life that protects the heart, he has long since passed away. Who is? Such a cruel attack. Master, how is he? Zhu Qinghan looked at me anxiously. I frowned. Shen Sheng said, seriously injured. The evil energy in his body is devouring his vitality. Need immediate help. I picked up the woman. Walked quickly into the house. Lay her flat. Lay her flat on the bed. Ning Xiaochuan. Go and boil a bucket of hot water. Xiao Han. Stand guard at the door. No one is allowed to come in and disturb. Yes, master. The two apprentices realized the seriousness of the matter. Face stern. Split up immediately. I take a deep breath. Forcefully suppress the shock in my heart. The index finger quickly ignited the woman's major medicines. The acupuncture method in Tai Di Jin Gui's medicinal strategy is used again. A trace of warm golden spiritual power turned into a golden needle. Penetrate her body. A fierce confrontation with the evil black aura. Flutter. Half an hour. Chen. Said, Sangsheng seal is still there. Girl, you are safe. This is the Jianghu Jianga. Tell me, who are you and why? There will be fragments of that Sangsheng seal. Who hurt you like this? I asked a few questions in succession, with a faint tremor in my voice. Then, the young woman looked at me as if she was identifying me. Suddenly, her eyes. He fell on the idea behind my back, and looked at my face, which although young, had eyes as deep as smoke, and his body suddenly became tense. Lai trembled, and her big eyes were filled with rolling tears. My grace, Shen Gong, it's really you. You are still alive. She struggled. You want to get up and come down for me. But I held it gently. Girl, don't be excited. You know me. I frowned slightly. Ever since the dust curse came, everyone in the world has forgotten my face. This woman, how could you recognize me at a glance? Benefactor, disciple Wen Qingxian. He is the guardian of the common people and earth spirits. Wen Qingxian cried until the pear blossoms were waiting for the rain. The voice is hoarse but full of excitement. Back then you destroyed your meridians. Saved the common people. That despicable guy Mo Tsangtian. Not only did I take away your life seal, to block the news, ordered the massacre of all monks who knew the truth. Our lineage of guardians. With the desperate support of our ancestors. Only then did he escape into the mountains with a fragment of the Kangsheng seal. Generations. Your portrait and shrine are preserved. We have never forgotten your kindness. Heard this. I just felt a shock in my mind. An unstoppable rage. Instantly, I felt a pain in my heart. What a good Mo Tsangtian. What a great martial arts leader. Not only stole my credit, and just to kill people and silence them, killed an entire line of guardians. Don't take revenge. I judge the common people because I am not a human being. Qingxian girl, speak slowly. What happened over there? I suppressed my anger. Asked softly. When Qingxian gritted his silver teeth, eyes full of hatred. Half a month ago, Mo Tsangtian learned the location of the earth spirit, in order to completely destroy the evidence left behind. Take back this last fragment. He dispatched his elite shadow shag, forced to break through the earth spirit. The immortal ancestor and the elders escorted me to escape. All died in battle. They left me with the pieces. To find your traces. They firmly believe, Shen Gong will definitely come back again. Rebuilding the world. When Qingxian said, he tremblingly handed the half-piece of jade seal fragment in his hand to me. Benefactor. These are the fragments that our ancestors paid for with their blood. These are the fragments that our ancestors paid for with their blood. It contains the core principles of Sangsheng seal. Please accept it. I took the gentle jade seal fragment. I just feel a throbbing blood connection. Instantly came from the palm of my hand. Buzz. That moment. The golden divine sea in my body roars crazily. That piece of debris. It's like finding a part that has been lost for many years. Instantly turned into a stream of cyan light. The breath that emanates. But it made the whole stone sea tremble. My cultivation level, at this moment, even without any bottlenecks, directly crossed the middle stage of Divine Sea Realm, breaking through to the peak of the Divine Sea Realm. Ding! Congratulations to the host for merging the hard fragments of the common people. Half-style. Due to the return of the natal magic weapon, the host's strength has been greatly improved. Gained supreme supernatural power. The common people are so angry. I slowly closed my eyes, feeling the overwhelming terrifying power in my body. And that's everywhere. Can be in. The awe-inspiring righteousness that can restrain all evil spirits in the world. When I open my eyes again, in the eyes, there are faint golden runes circulating. Unfathomable. Qingxian girl. Don't worry, this is fair. I will definitely work for the Guardians. For all the people in the world. Ask for it back from the end of heaven. My voice is calm. But the killing part. But the temperature of the whole room. Dropped to freezing point. Master, someone is coming from outside. Many flying swords. Just then, Zhu Qinghen sounded anxious. Suddenly came from the gate. I frowned slightly. Patted Wen Qingxian on the shoulder. Tell him to have a good rest. Then turned around. Slowly walked out of the room. When I came to the courtyard, I saw it in the sky above the sword pavilion. Hundreds of flying swords are densely suspended. On every flying sword, there is a man wearing a black tight standing there. Monk with devil mask on his face. These people have cold breath. Like an emotionless killing machine. And at the forefront of these people, there stood a man wearing a black and gold robe. An old man holding a pale white ancient sword. He is a dry old man with ancient swords all over his body. He exudes the powerful aura of the early stage of Shanhai Jing. A pair of triangular eyes flashed with cruel and greedy green light, leading to kill Lord Gidge. Yumingzi. Ha 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 ha. Shen Sangsheng. I didn't expect that a loser like you is actually still alive, still hiding in this wretched place and trying to survive. Yumingzi looked at me. He let out an extremely harsh laugh. It seems that the Alliance leader guessed correctly. Just stare at the remnants of the common people and earth spirits. You'll definitely find your hiding place. Shen Sangsheng. Real. Hand over the hard fragments of Kangsheng and Wen Qingxian. This work can be considered for its time. Leave you a whole body. Otherwise. Today's Jianghu Sword Pavilion. I want to leave chickens and dogs alone. Those hundreds of black flying sword monks. At the same time, a cold and bone-chilling murderous intention erupted. Black mist condenses in the sky. Turned into a roaring evil ghost. Completely covering the entire sword pavilion. Like the end is coming. Birds and beasts in the surrounding mountains and forests, frightened and ran away. A continuous wail. Master, these guys are so ugly. And they are sticky. So disgusting. Zhu Qinghen dislikes it. Pinching in disgust. Nose. My master gets angry. The color of heaven and earth will change. The divine thunder in the sky listened to the master's words. They will all turn into mighty dragons. Take these dirty things from the ground. Cracked until not even the slag is left. Ning Xiaochuan also tightened his grip on the iron axe. Stand beside me, he added with cold eyes. Master's will. The catastrophe is coming. Divine thunder destroys the world. Rumble. With the heroic spirit of the two apprentices, Gan Yun. Praise without reservation. It was originally filled with black fog. In the gloomy and depressing sky, suddenly and without warning, I remembered something. An extremely dull and shocking sound. That thick black mist. In an instant, he was completely torn apart by a dazzling golden light. Instead, it's a blanket that covers the sky. The vast and boundless bright golden sea of thunder. In that golden thunder sea, countless thunderbolts as thick as a water vat were swimming wildly. Interweaving and cohesion. Stop wandering wildly. Interweaving and cohesion. Under the shocked eyes of tens of thousands of people in the audience. It actually turned into 9 swords that reached 10,000 feet. The golden thunder dragon exuding endless power. The roar of the dragon is deafening. The flying swords of the hundreds of shadow-killing monks were shaken violently. almost fell from the sky. And the awe-inspiring righteousness in my body. It's as if I've found an outlet at this moment. Crazily pouring into the fingers. On fingertips. Brilliant golden light. Like a scorching sun in the sky. Exuding the absolute majesty of being the nemesis of evil spirits in the world. No, this is impossible. This is Nine Heavens Golden God Thunder. Aren't you a waste with all your meridians destroyed? How is it possible to trigger such a level of divine thunder? Yumingzi looked at the 9 circling and soaring lights above his head. The golden brontosaurus looked down at him with cold and majestic eyes. I was so frightened that my whole body was shaking violently. The goat fox on its chin trembles crazily. Eyeballs will fly out of their sockets. He desperately tried to use the pale ancient sword in his body to escape, but under the mighty power of the 9 Heavens God Thunder Heaven, his set of evil techniques, it's like seeing the residual blood of the sun melt instantly. Jiao, I can't mobilize even a shred of spiritual power. I looked at the horrified Yumingzi. The corners of the mouth are slightly raised. Speak calmly. Since my disciple said it, when I get angry, divine thunder destroys the world. Then let me show you today. What for? 9 Heavens Dragon Festival. 4. I pointed my index finger gently towards the sky. Then he made a stroke in the air. Boom. 9,000-foot-long golden thunder dragons chorused in unison. Let out an earth-shattering roar. With the supreme power of heaven that destroys all things, swooping down from the sky. That night, the entire land with a radius of hundreds of miles, illuminated like day. The golden thunder in the sky turned into the most violent ocean, killed the hundreds of shadow elites, and the powerful Shanghai realm master Yumingzi, devour completely. Screams, begging for mercy. In front of this heaven-destroying divine thunder roar, not even a tiny bit of waves could stir up the waves. Overnight, that condensed Yumingzi's lifelong efforts. The elites of Yingsha Pavilion who have made countless noble families fearful, together with the black evil fog that fills the sky, in golden thunder, disappear into ashes. In golden thunder, disappear into ashes. Not even a trace of ashes remains. Even the darkness in this void. Evil. Qi, never happened in general. Su Qinghan and Ning Xiaochuan stood behind me, looking into the empty void. Then I looked at my index finger that I hadn't had time to take back. The two little guys looked at each other. They all saw indescribable shock and pride in each other's eyes. My master is really a god. No, more powerful than gods. Sheningong really has the power to reach heaven. When Qingxian is recuperating in the house, holding up my weak body, I came to the door. See this scene. Xinche's eyes are full of enthusiasm and admiration. He fell to his knees with a plop. Put your hands together, said in a trembling voice. When Qingxian, guardian of the common people and earth spirits, kowtowed to thank God for his power. There is a benefactor here. Dejianghu. There's hope. I turned around. Deep help when Qingxian up, looking calmly at the 3 juniors with enthusiastic faces. But I am silently calculating in my heart. After this thought, Yingsha Pavilion was almost completely wiped out. That despicable guy Mo Sangtian. You must have received the message by now. He'll definitely be in a state of extreme panic, and the triennial gathering of heroes from the martial arts leader. Only less than 3 months left. By then, thousands of sects from all over the world gathered in the imperial capital. Mo Sangtian originally wanted to announce that he had entered the supreme clan on that day. Completely dominate the entire world. Mo Sangtian, since you want this alliance leader's treasure so much, that work was set on the day of the gathering of heroes. Go to the imperial capital in person. All old accounts from that year, one by one. Calculate things clearly with you. Master, are we going to the imperial capital to cause trouble? Su Qinghan said excitedly, waving his fists and shouting. Take me. I will definitely help Master scold Mo Sangtian until he is bloody. Ning Xiaochuan also took a step forward, silently carrying the iron axe to the sky on his shoulders. Wen Sheng said, the disciple is willing to open the way for the master. Who blocks and kills whom? Master opens the way. Who blocks and kills whom? I looked at the 2 young apprentices who were very motivated, and when Qingxian, who looked determined, couldn't help laughing loudly. Laughter echoes in the quiet night sky. Unspeakable heroism and openness. Good. Then we have 3 masters and apprentices. Then go and meet the heroes of this world for a while. Take a look at the world of this great world. Who has the final say? The night is getting darker. The candlelight between the rivers and lakes is warm and bright. Before the storm comes, the tranquility and warmth here, but it has become the most unique scenery on this land. And on a distant map, in the majestic palace of the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance, the door to the secret room was violently kicked in. One wearing a golden robe, a majestic middle-aged man. At this time, his face was pale, looking with horror at the fate cards shattered on the ground. Those life cards with the names of Yu Mingzi and hundreds of shadow killer elites. In the moment just now, it all turned into powder. How is this possible? Shen Sangsheng, that trash. Has he really returned to his peak? No, I am the hero who saves the common people. I am the leader of the world's martial arts world. No one can take away everything from me. Mo Tsungtian clenched his fists tightly. Nails dig deep into flesh, dripping with blood. He roared hysterically, eyes full of madness and resentment. And at this time, in the courtyard of Dejianghujianga, I lay back on Taisha 1 again, looking at the sky full of stars, the fingertips gently fiddled with the half-piece of hard fragments. Eyes as deep as smoke. The wind has started to blow. Mo Tsungtian, we have a lot of land. See you all leave. The first ray of sunshine in the morning, sprinkled in the yard separated by rivers and lakes. Ning Xiaochuan got up early as usual, again and again in the corner of the courtyard, used the sky-opening iron axe to chop the pole. Every stroke of his axe, all are faintly accompanied by extremely condensed white airflow. Even the void sent out threads of tearing cloth. Su Qinghan is holding the Qiushui Wuhan sword, practicing the stabbing methodically on the side. Basic actions such as eliminating satiety. His figure is as agile as smoke. Every movement brings a crisp air-breaking sonic boom. When Qingxian was treated with my 9 turns yellow soul pill and tidy rejuvenation needle, the injury is already almost healed. The injury is already almost healed. At this time, he was walking out of the house carrying a basin of freshly washed clothes. A gentle and peaceful smile on his face. These past few days have been the first time since the destruction of the Earth Spirit that the most peaceful and happiest time ever. There is no endless pursuit here. No conspiracy. Only this legendary benefactor who saved the world. And too lively and lovely. A young senior sister with extremely terrifying talent. Junior brother. In addition to teaching 2 apprentices every day, my benefactor. Just try different ways to make delicious food for everyone. There is simply no aloof airs like that of a peerless swordsman. Benefactor, what are you eating this morning? As soon as Su Qinghan smelled the aroma wafting from the kitchen, I stopped practicing my sword immediately, sneaking to the kitchen door like a little tea hat, looking inside eagerly. I wiped my hands on my apron, holding a large basin of steaming water. The fragrant sauce bones can't come out, said with a smile. I made soy sauce bones for you today, and a pot of white jade tofu soup. Go wash your hands and eat quickly. Wow, master is the best. Su Qinghan cheered excitedly. Throw down the Qiushui sword and run towards the water basin. Ning Xiaochuan also silently put away the subsidy, wiped the sweat on my forehead. He bowed to me respectfully. Thank you for your hard work, master. When Qingxian looked at a table of delicious food with all colors, flavors, and tastes, and the scene of the 3 masters and apprentices having fun, I can't help but feel my eyes getting a little hot. If the ancestors of the Earth Spirit could see our benefactor's current life, I'm sure you'll be happy too. On the dinner table, several people ate with their mouths full of oil. Su Qinghan gnawed on the big bone, while saying vaguely, Master, the sauced bones you made are so delicious. I think you are not only superb in medical skills, unparalleled sword skills. Even the cooking skills are unique in the world. What kind of royal dining room in the imperial capital? Compare with master's cooking skills. Just like everything. If master goes to the imperial capital to open a restaurant, those so-called dignitaries, head of a famous family, I'm afraid I have to take a bite of master's cooking. The threshold has been trampled down. He just finished speaking. I just felt a bang in my mind. An extremely huge one. Wonderful insights into the lore of the great Tao, suddenly descended from the void, integrated into my soul. That is the lore of the blending of water and fire among the 5 elements, and the extremely rare Wang Rong lore, and the extremely rare 10 divine ways of creation of all things. I looked at an animal bone in my hand. I just feel like him in my sight. Every trace of spiritual power contained in this ordinary animal bone flows. Distribution of every nutrient in bone marrow. Even the perfect texture and heat of the meat. I can see everything clearly. As long as I want. Pick up a grain of dust. A dead leaf, refined by the law of blending of water and fire, can be transformed into containing the ultimate spiritual power. The ultimate delicious elixir that makes people go crazy. I was completely stunned. I couldn't help but sigh silently in my heart. Good guy. This girl. Even my cooking skills are not spared. This time is good. I am not only a miracle doctor, sword fairy. Now he has the identity of a god-level chef. However, the god of food of creation of all things. This name sounds quite bluffing. If I have to fight with someone in the future, is it possible to feed the other person directly as food? Practice. I've been here for quite some time. A gathering of heroes far away from the imperial capital. Less than 3 months to go. I plan to spend a few days. Then set off for the imperial capital. When Qingxian had sex for a while, a look of excitement and complexity flashed in his eyes. Sheningong, are you finally going back to the imperial capital? I nodded, looking deeply into the distance. Some accounts. It took 5 years. It's time to do some math and refreshment. Since Mo Sangtian has occupied the throne of alliance leader for 5 years, enjoyed 5 years of glory and wealth and the admiration of all people, he should also understand something. Not his. There's a price to pay for taking it. Master, what about our Jianga? Ning Xiaochuan looked at the newly renovated houses around him with some worry. This is his home. It's also the place where he gets a new lease of life. He was a little reluctant. I smiled slightly. Said, Jianga will naturally stay here. Wait until we finish our business in the imperial capital. You can come back anytime. This time I go to the imperial capital. The mountain is high and the road is far. There will definitely be wind and rain along the way. Qinghan and Xiaochuan practiced with me for a while. I also need to see the real world. When Qingxian also came with us. Take you by the way. Come with us too. By the way, you'll help you reorganize your lineage of guardians. Good lord. Went to the imperial capital to cause trouble. Su Qinghan jumped up excitedly. The Qiushui Wuhan sword made clear trembling sounds behind him, as if looking forward to the coming storm. Nin Xiaochuan did not speak, just silently touched the iron axe on Mo's back. There was an unprecedented coldness in his eyes. Mo Sangtian, this blood debt of Yinsha Pavilion, our Jianghu Jianga, I must make you pay with blood. After deciding on the itinerary, in the next few days, we started packing our bags, prepare some supplies needed for going down the mountain. Because it's a long way to go. You will pass through many dangerous mountains and rivers along the way. So I specially prepared a few bottles for my 2 apprentice beauties. I used the 10 divine ways and a special elixir to refine my fingers. These elixirs can not only restore spiritual power instantly, heal serious injuries. It tastes extremely sweet. Looks very much like the various fruit candies sold on the streets of Chifeng town. Su Qinghan happily praised the master for his thoughtfulness. However, just the afternoon before we were about to leave, Jiang's big door mouth, sect leader Liu Chengfeng. He was riding on a horse that exuded white jade unicorn filled with white light, with great humility on his face, very flattering smile. Behind him was a car with 8 tall horses, luxury horse carriage. The carriage was piled with red silk and satin of various colors, exquisite large wooden box tied, the rich and fierce fluctuations emanating from inside. Even the surrounding air was dyed with a touch of 5 colors. Liu Chengfeng, the leader of Xingyun sect, seeking to see Elder Shen. Liu Chengfeng shouted very loudly towards the gate. His tone was full of awe and flattery. I rubbed Tai Yang Shui helplessly, walked out with Su Qinghan and Ning Xiaochuan. Liu Chengfeng, you're such a big fan. What's the fuss about again? I looked at the cartloads of rare treasures, asked a little funny. When Liu Chengfeng saw me, he hurriedly climbed down from the unicorn, sit in 3 steps and run to me in 2 steps. The father-in-law sat down and ran to me in 2 steps. The father-in-law quietly made a big salute. Judge the elders. A few days ago, I heard that there are Xiao people from Manhua Yang sect and Yinsha Pavilion. How dare you disturb your Qingxiu? The juniors are extremely frightened. It's all my fault that the juniors are not strict in restraint, didn't clean up the garbage in this area in advance. For this, the junior specially selected 30 boxes of top-quality spiritual stones from the sect's treasure house, 10,000 years ginseng, as well as various healing and auxiliary spiritual treasures, specially sent to Elder Shen and the 2 high clansmen for a deposit. I also asked Elder Shen not to dislike him. Liu Chengfeng smiled flatteringly. That look. How can there be any leader of a sect that is even remotely powerful in the northern wilderness? Style. Just like a conscientious butler. Su Qinghan saw this. Cross your arms over your chest. He raised his eyebrows somewhat proudly. Sect Master Liu. You are quite well informed. But those cool people. It had long been chopped into ashes by the thunder from the sky that my master had casually attracted. Not even the dregs were left. But the gifts you gave me were quite timely. My master is preparing to take us to the imperial capital and gradually loses sleep. What's the correct toll? Liu Chengfeng heard the thunder from the sky. The words turned into ashes. My eyelids twitched violently a few times. A layer of cold sweat suddenly broke out on my back. What kind of existence is Yinsha Pavilion in the entire rivers and lakes? That is the strongest killer organization that does dirty work for the Alliance leader's mansion. Yu Mingzi is even more famous as a master of the Divine Sea Realm. Qing Yuan. The sky thunder in front of me was summoned by the person in front of me, and I was immediately covered with ink. This Shen Sangsheng's cultivation level. What earth-shattering level has it reached? Fortunately, I was wise at the time. I didn't have a head-on confrontation with this guy. Instead, he hugged his thigh shamelessly. Otherwise, the current Qingyun sect. I'm afraid there won't even be the end of the year left when Taiku tried his sword. Go to the imperial capital. Elder Shen, you are going to the imperial capital. Liu Chengfeng came back to his senses. Eyes suddenly lit up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to show your loyalty. He hurriedly slapped his chest. Say it loudly. Elder Shen. The imperial capital is tens of thousands of miles away from here. Along the way, we not only have to pass through the Tianduan Mountains where thousands of monsters are entrenched, we have to go through countless opera forces, large and small. If you are walking or riding an ordinary spirit horse, not only slow, and there's constant trouble. Our Qingyun sect is also in constant trouble. Our Qingyun sect has won. The Libra flying boat has been inherited for 3,000 years. Qingyun Chengfeng. Extremely fast, traveling thousands of miles a day. And the facilities inside the craft are extremely luxurious. Everything. The younger generation is willing to pilot the flying boat himself. Escort Elder Shen and the 2 great ancestors. Go to the imperial capital. Heard this. I was slightly startled. Libra. This Liu Chengfeng. I'm really willing to spend the money. However, there is a flying boat to sit on. It's indeed much faster than us walking. And it did save money along the way. Cause a lot of unnecessary trouble. You can have a lot more time to guide the 2 apprentices in practice. Master, make African coconut. I want to do. Su Qinghan grabbed my arm. Big eyes dangled with anticipation. Good. Since Sect Master Liu has the intention, bring Africa over there. Let's set off together. My hands are slightly sweaty. Agreed. Thank you, Elder Shen, for helping me. Junior, go and prepare now. Liu Chengfeng was overjoyed. He hurriedly ordered his subordinates, carrying the mountains of gifts into the yard. Well placed. One morning, accompanied by a clear and melodious phoenix cry, one palm can hit 100 feet. The whole body is made of extremely rare blue sky white jade. A huge flying boat engraved with countless mysterious jade wind runes, slowly flying from the direction in the blue clouds. Finally, it floated smoothly in the sky between the great rivers and lakes. That flying boat is magnificent. Like a heavenly palace suspended in the air, exudes a refreshing fairy light. Elder Shen, please get on the boat. Liu Chengfeng stood on the deck of the flying boat. Bow down and salute me with great respect. I held the hands of Su Qinghan and Ning Xiaochuan. When Qingxian followed behind, the 4 of them took one step. Waves of golden water ripples appear in the void beneath your feet, crossing dozens of feet of void in an instant. Landed smoothly on the deck of Africa. Liu Chengfeng saw this shadowless method that shrank the ground into an inch. The corner of his eye twitched violently again. The awe for me in my heart has reached a higher level. Nebula Chengfeng. Set sail. Liu Chengfeng shouted loudly. Mobilize the spiritual power in the body to inject it into the core control formation in Africa. Boom. Want to run away quickly. In a spacious and luxurious cabin in Africa. Su Qinghan is like a curious baby. Look left, touch right. Happy from ear to ear. Ning Xiaochuan stood in front of the window, looking out the window at the sea of clouds receding rapidly. Deep eyes. Some don't know what they are thinking. Master, Africa is so fast. All the clouds in the sky have been trampled under our feet. Su Qinghan came to my side, said somewhat excitedly. He looked at me. Those two beautiful thin lips began to open and close habitually again. Master, although this poor Africa looks beautiful, but when we met you, we traveled across 9 heavens and 10 places. Even the stars in the sky will make way for you. It's just like a child's wooden horse. Later, Master, you will regain the seal of life, restored the cultivation of heaven and earth. You can definitely swipe it casually. Take us across all the worlds. Rumble. Following this girl's bottomless flattery, she fell down. The half of the common people's seal that was fused deep between my eyebrows fell down. The half fragment of the common seal fused deep between my eyebrows. Suddenly there was a burst of extremely dazzling light. The blue god king like the scorching sun. The supreme great universe void technique that can even change the flow of time in a single thought. Directly integrated into my instincts. Africa, which originally needed to rely on Liu Chengfeng to mobilize. At this moment, control of its core formation. In an instant, I was completely taken over by my void technique. I feel like I just need one thought. This 100-foot-long ship is of the highest quality in Africa. In an instant. Realize space jump. Across tens of thousands of miles. Arrive directly at the gate of the imperial capital. I looked at the teacup in my hand. I couldn't help but complain silently in my heart. It's cold, it's cold. You keep blowing like this. Master, I really want to be invincible in this world. Wait until the imperial capital. What if I accidentally shatter the entire continent? What should we do? However, this kind of masters everything. The feeling of playing with everything in the world between clapping. It's really cool. Africa is sailing smoothly on the Sea of Cloud 9. It was a calm journey, with Qingyun sect leader Liu Chengfeng personally controlling it. Plus the huge Qingyun Zhonghui in Africa. The forces of all sizes along the way and the monster beasts that are kings of the mountains. 3 shots of retreat were fired one after another. No one without a good idea dares to come forward and provoke. Along the way, I feel at ease. Every day on the deck in Africa, instructing 2 apprentices to practice. Cold. Your horse stance has been extremely stable. Physical strength and speed have also reached calmness. Start today. Master teaches you the first lesson. Optimistic. Him standing in the middle of the deck, holding a bamboo chopstick in hand, looking at Su Qinghan calmly. Su Qinghan and Ning Xiaochuan. When Qingxian and the other 3 suddenly looked solemn, watching my every move with rapt attention. Practice together. Never change without departing from its origins. The most powerful sword move, often the simplest. I let out a breath. Arm holding bamboo chopsticks. Exhale calmly forward. Arm holding bamboo chopsticks. He stabbed forward in an ordinary way. The simplest comment. Brush. There is no sword light all over the sky. No scary mobs. But at the moment when the bamboo chopsticks stabbed out, Su Qinghan and the others only felt that the whole sky in front of them, as if being stretched extremely long in an instant. Even the layers of clouds. They were all affected by the void sword shadow emitted by the bamboo chopsticks. A huge skull with a diameter of 10 miles was pierced out. This sword, named Golden Red. I take my hand back. The bamboo block is intact, said with a smile. Su Qinghan stayed where she was. Countless extremely bright sword-like trajectories flashed through his eyes. He just felt something shattered in his mind. That one is every tiny detail of the review, with the blessing of 100-fold understanding. In an instant, it turned into an eternal mark of swordsmanship, integrated into the depths of his soul. Disciple, got it. Thanks to Master for passing on the sword. Su Qinghan was overjoyed. He quickly pulled out the Qiu Shui Wuhan sword from his back. On the deck, I started practicing this simplest golden red flat stab over and over again. Every time the sword tip thrust out, all bring out a faint green ripple, exuding a thrilling demeanor, the heart-stopping aura. Watching the two apprentices practicing hard on the deck, I smiled with satisfaction, holding a cup of tea, back in the cabin, when Qingxian followed me quietly. Look at my somewhat thin back. Some are hesitant to speak. Qingxian girl, what to say? But it doesn't matter. I turned around, look at him with a smile. When Qingxian took a deep breath, biting the red lips, said with some worry, Benefactor, the imperial capital is Mo Tsangtian's home base. There are many experts in the Alliance Leader's palace. Except for killers like Yu Mingzi, there are also many older masters who have been famous for many years and are loyal to him. Moreover, Mo Tsangtian has been in retreat for the past 5 years to study the mystery of the Common Seal, trying to break through the rumored realm of heaven and humanity. Do we really not need to contact some of the old ministries that supported you back then? I shook my head, eyes calm but as deep as the sea. Qingxian girl, you are wrong. In the face of absolute power, quantity means nothing. The reason why Mo Tsangtian is where he is today, just stole something that belongs to me. Now him back, belongs to me. Even if he eats it for 5 years, him back too, belongs to me. Even if he eats it for 5 years, I also want him to spit out every bit of it for me. And those old subordinates who supported me back then, now under the pressure of Mo Tsangtian, lingering on life. If we contact them, on the contrary, it will bring disaster to them. Waiting for the day of the gathering of heroes. Everything will be revealed naturally. Look at the indifferent expression on my face that looks like the mountain is collapsing in front of me. The worries in when King Xuan's heart disappeared without a trace in an instant, replaced by endless pride and awe. My benefactor is right. Some ants, no matter how high they jump, in front of benefactor, they are just mosquitoes and flies that you swat to death. Africa gallops all the way, crossed the steep mountains, passed through vast plains. It took half a month to sail, and on this afternoon, the end of the plain horizon ahead, a majestic, macro, Liu Chengfeng slowly landed. Liu Chengfeng slowly lowered the height of Africa. A little excited, he shouted nervously again. Elder Shen, the imperial capital has arrived. Are we going to land directly in front of the Alliance Leader's mansion? My deputy is standing at the front of the deck. The mountain wind made my white clothes rustle violently. Black hair flying. Look at the majestic momentum below. The imperial capital city looks like a behemoth. The corners of my mouth raised slightly. A very cold smile appeared. No. Liu Chengfeng landed in front of the imperial capital gate. My seat. To hold my apprentice's hand, step by step into the gate of the imperial capital. I want Mo Tsangtian, who is sitting in the Alliance Leader's mansion, hear clearly. The sound of my footsteps coming back. It's the junior who obeys the order. Liu Chengfeng looked confused, said loudly and in awe. Africa is tall and majestic in the imperial capital. In front of the huge city gate made of white jade. Landed smoothly. Crowds of people in front of the city gate. Countless monks and carriages are queuing up to enter the city. When they see a palm hitting 100 feet. Extremely luxurious gift. Africa actually landed in front of the city gate. Suddenly burst out neatly. When he landed in front of the city gate. Immediately a chorus of exclamations broke out. Everyone's eyes. In a moment, all gathered on the deck of Africa. In the spotlight, him dressed in white, he walked slowly down from Africa with an indifferent expression. Su Qinghen carries the Qiu Shui Wuhan sword on her back. Ning Xiaochuan was holding something out of place in his hand. There are even some funny iron axes that open the sky. When Qingxian followed behind. Liu Chengfeng is like a butler. He looked half a body behind me with a very respectful expression. Follow step by step. There's something weird about this line of work. A team that exudes a heart-stopping aura. It instantly caused a huge sensation in front of the city gate. Who is this young man in white? He actually came on a heavenly flying boat. Oh my god. You don't even know him. That's Liu Chengfeng, the leader of the Qingyun sect. He actually, walking behind the young man in white. Still so respectful. Could it be that the young man in white is the holy son of some holy land? Or the heir to some big film and television family? Discussion. Exclamations came and went. My face does not change. Holding Su Qinghan's little hand. In the eyes of everyone's attention and respect. Extremely calmly. Entering the gate of the imperial capital. Entering the gate of the imperial capital. And at this moment, 100 miles away from the city gate, in the deepest part of the imperial capital, deep inside the splendid Alliance Lord's mansion, that one has been closed for 5 years. The secret room door is made of deep-sea cold iron weighing 10,000 kilograms. Suddenly there was an earth-shaking loud noise. Exploded to pieces. One is wearing a golden nine-dragon robe. A middle-aged man with a tattoo exuding a terrifying, breathless black energy. Step out slowly from the secret room. His hair turned completely black. In the magic eyes without any white of the eyes. At this time, it is flashing extremely crazy. Interesting and unconcealed resentment and horror. He stared in the direction of the city gate. Made an extremely hoarse sound. A terrifying sound like a ghost grinding its teeth. Shen Sangsheng. You useless person who should have died 5 years ago. You actually, really rush back to the imperial capital. The gate of the imperial capital is 100 feet high. Surrounded by awed looks. A group of us walked slowly. This feeling is a bit strange. Su Qinghan looked left and right on the street. He pointed to a tea house on the corner. Said that the place has great feng shui. Best for our accommodation. Said that the place has great feng shui. Best for us to stay and rest. The tea house door is tightly closed. A worn chain hangs on the door. The shopkeeper sighed at the side. In preparing to sell this shop, I walked up and paid the silver. Bought this tea house. From today on this is Jiang'e, our new base in the imperial capital. Su Qinghan rolled up her sleeves excitedly. Take the rag and start cleaning. Ning Xiaochuan is also carrying an iron axe. Clean up the weeds in the yard. Liu Chengfeng was busy on the sidelines. Move a spiritual stone into the backyard. He moves like a buddy. Afraid of making me unhappy. When Qingxian was making tea on the side, movements are as graceful as flowing clouds and flowing water. The fragrance of tea fills the air. Let this dilapidated tea house come to life. While we are busy, there was a sudden noise outside the door. Several city defense soldiers wearing iron armor walked in swaggeringly. The leader is a ruthless officer, holding a bright waist knife in his hand. He tapped the table with the tip of his knife. Look at us sideways. Does the new shopkeeper understand the rules? Open a shop and do business on this street. You have to pay 100 taels of silver every month. 1 point less and the store will be smashed today. I smashed the store today in 1 minute. The officer looked extremely arrogant. Didn't take us seriously at all. When Liu Chengfeng saw this, he just wanted to get angry. I stopped you gently with my eyes. Su Qinghan sneered and walked forward, looking at those arrogant soldiers. A few janitors dare to come to my master and act arrogantly. My master is Jiutian needle and thread. One of his fingers is heavier than all. If you just click it on the table, can bring down this entire imperial city. The moment he finished speaking, I just feel a vast power instantly gathered in my right hand. There is a faint golden glow on the fingertips. I sighed, pretending to be helpless. Place your right index finger lightly on the table. Didn't make any loud noises. There is only an undetectable ripple, suddenly centering on the tea house. A 10-mile radius of hard ground. It sank neatly. Fully half a foot deep. Those city defense soldiers had their legs twisted. With a plop, they all fell to their knees. The solid stone slab they sat on, already broken into spider webs. The officer turned pale with fright. The demon sword in his hand fell to the ground. He looked at the wooden bracelet in horror. The wooden bracelet actually fell to the ground. He looked at the wooden bracelet in horror. The wooden bracelet is actually intact. Miracle. What a fairy. The officer kowtowed desperately on the ground. The forehead was hit with blood dripping from it. Rolling and crawling with people to escape. Su Qinghan clapped her hands proudly. Turn around and look at me with admiration. Master, you are so kind. It didn't turn them into ashes. Ning Xiaochuan was cleaning an iron axe in the yard. He followed in a calm tone. Master cares about all people in the world. Naturally, I don't want to commit more crimes. I calmly took a sip of tea. In fact, my heart has already blossomed with joy. This life wheel is so useful. You can get divine power just by blowing it. In the evening, the tea house was cleaned up. A signboard for Qingfeng Tea House was hung on the door, although it looks ordinary. But inside there is a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Busy in the kitchen making dinner. Prepare to show off your skills to the apprentices, with the divine way of creation of all things. Cooking has become a kind of spiritual practice. A table of delicious dishes will be served soon. The aroma drifted out through the window, attracting people on the street. They all stopped and looked inside. While I was eating, there was the sound of a piano outside the door of the dining room. The sound of the piano sounds extremely miserable, with a hint of helplessness and sadness. A hint of helplessness and sadness, lingering in the night wind for a long time. Su Qinghan stuck her head out curiously. I saw a girl in thin clothes, holding a worn-out bone horse, sitting on the stone steps in front of the tea house. The girl's eyes were covered with white gauze. Apparently a blind girl who is blind in both eyes. Her fingertips plucked the strings. There are still tears hanging from the corners of my eyes. A few drunken rich boys. They are moving around the blind girl. Wordless words uttered from the mouth. Want to take her away by force. Little beauty, don't talk here. Go back and drink with your brothers. Guaranteed to make you rich and wealthy beyond your imagination. The fat man at the head smiled very obscenely. The blind girl held her tightly in her arms and fell in love, desperately shrinking into the corner. Please let the little girl go. I'm just selling some here to get some money. Where can I see Su Qinghan? As soon as he slaps the table, he rushes out the door. It's these blind bitches again. My aunt fucked them today. I reached out and grabbed my little apprentice. Stand up with a smile. Qinghan, you have to be reasonable when doing things. Don't be prone to beating and killing at every turn. I slowly walked out of the tea house door. The white clothes float slightly in the night wind. Look at those drunken rich kids. Floating slightly in the night wind. Look at those drunken rich kids. Speak slowly and calmly. Some of you are disturbing my apprentice's meal. Get out of here now. I can pretend that nothing happened. The fat man turned his head and looked at me sideways. If you don't feel frightened when you see me dressed in white. Suddenly he laughed disdainfully. Where does the pretty boy dare to meddle in other people's business? The fat man waved his hand and saw the door behind him. He hit me with a wooden stick. Seeing this, Su Qinghan put his hands on his waist, standing at the door and shouting loudly. My master's deeds are unparalleled in the world. As long as he fiddles with the strings, all things in heaven and earth will stand still. Even the gods had to kneel down to obey the order. With the confident praise from my little apprentice, the old guqin in the arms of the blind girl, suddenly there was a crisp sword power. The sound of the piano bloomed with soft clear light. I took the guqin from the blind girl's arms. Sit down with your sleeves rolled up under the moonlight. Press the index fingers of both hands on the rough strings. Smiling at Fatty and others. In this case, then this work. I will give you a piece of cool breeze. I flicked my fingers on the strings. The clear sound of the needle sounded. The sound of the piano turned into an invisible ripple, sweeping the whole neighborhood in an instant. At that moment, time seemed to freeze. The fallen leaves in the sky are stagnant in mid-air. The movements of Fatty and others were frozen instantly, remaining in a funny posture and unable to move. Their eyes are full of fear. But I can't even move a hair. Only thoughts are still running wildly. This method is simply unheard of. I plucked the strings again. A gentle breeze blew slowly. Fatty and others flew out instantly. He fell heavily into a rubbish pile 100 meters away. The neighborhood regains its flow. Fallen leaves fall quietly to the ground. It's as if the sound of the piano never appeared. But it left a shock in everyone's heart. The blind girl sat on the ground blankly. Although she couldn't see the scene just now. But the affection that shakes the soul. But it made her tremble violently. Immortal. What a divine musician. The blind girl fell to her knees with a plop. Kowtow hard in my direction. Tears seeped out along the white sand. I reached out and helped her up. A ray of spiritual power penetrated her eyes. It was found that her eye meridians were blocked. And he was poisoned by a strange poison. Girl, your eyes. And he was poisoned by a strange poison. Girl, your eyes are caused by poisoning. Not born blind. I whispered and took it into the tea house. When Qingxian brought a bowl of warm water. Look at this poor blind girl. Eyes full of sympathy and pity. Soothing her emotions softly. I took out a golden needle from my arms. A finger with a needle was pressed around her eyes. The vitality of Tai Di Jin Gui Yao Lu. slowly flow into her meridians along the golden needles. But for a moment the blind girl only felt that. A warm feeling of comfort surrounds the eyes. The pain that was originally cold and biting disappeared without a trace in this moment. You can take off the white gauze now. I took back my finger and said with a smile. The blind girl stretched out her hands tremblingly, slowly lifted the white gauze on his face. The moment she opened her eyes, the clear eyes regained their vitality. She looked at the bright lights around her, looking at me with a gentle smile in front of me. And the curious Su Qinghan. The whole person was completely dumbfounded. I can see it. The blind girl cried with joy and loudly. She knelt before me again. Dong dong dong, kowtow and think. Thank you so much for saving your life. The little girl's name is Ayu. I am willing to be a cow and a horse for my benefactor in this life. Lai Yang. This was clearly my subordinate back then. The token of the first battle general, Hunter Sun Sword King. You immortal lock. Where did it come from? I asked softly with a solemn expression. You touched the lock on her neck. He lowered his head with red eyes. This is what my father left for me. He said his name was Shen Lai Yang. 5 years ago, Dad went to fight in the war. Never came back. Later, people from the Alliance leader's mansion ransacked my home. I can only live on the street with Qin in my arms. Shut up when Qing Zuanwu hears this. I couldn't help but shed tears. Oh my God, Uncle Li Yang's daughter. He has been begging in the imperial capital. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. The anger in my heart burned again. In order to help me protect the law, Lai Yang, killed by a sneak attack from behind by Mo Tsangtian. Unexpectedly, his only flesh and blood. She was forced to become a blind girl in the imperial capital. Mo Tsangtian, you beast. How many years have you made it? You starts from today. Just follow me in practice. I opened my eyes and looked at him and said softly, your father is a hero in this world. His daughter absolutely cannot. No more grievances and insults. You looked at me blankly. Suddenly support the soul and kneel on the ground. You meets master. Disciples must practice hard. Ding Gongshi, the host successfully accepted the third disciple. You, Lai Yang Sword Valley. Obtain 100 times feedback and advance to the early stage of heavenly realm. Obtain a god-level love note. Jiuxiao Jade Encirclement. Suddenly inside my body, the vast golden divine sea transformed instantly. Turned into a boundless 9 heavens thunder immortal sea. The realm of heaven and man is in this big river and lake. It has not appeared for 500 years. And I only used a few words. He easily crossed this level of heaven. You stood aside and looked at me. The worship in my eyes is beyond words. She felt that the aura emanating from Master, brighter than the sun in the sky. Master, you must be the God Emperor in heaven. Even the air around you meets you. Everyone has to stay away obediently. Bow my head and surrender to you. With the praise of my little apprentice are you. The void around me trembled slightly. Yuan Kong trembled slightly. The originally violent coercion of heaven and man, instantly restrained completely. The aura between heaven and earth is at this moment. It actually condensed into blossoms. Fresh. But we lived happily. Every day is full of laughter. Ayu is a very smart child. Although she has never practiced swordsmanship, but the talent in love. But he is a monster like no other. I taught her the song 9 Filial Piety and Jade Thunder. She holds the old piano every day, practicing seriously in the backyard. Every sound of the piano is faintly thunderous. Su Qinghan continued in the yard, practicing that golden red style. When she sees this place now, even the void will leave a clear mark. Ning Xiaochuan is even more of a practicing madman, sweating like rain in the woodshed every day. His sky-opening iron axe is already here. There is a faint trace of black space cracks. These 3 apprentices formed a black space crack. The growth rate of these 3 apprentices. If the outside sects knew, I'm afraid I'll be so shocked that my jaw will drop. And I am only responsible for making delicious food every day. Until 1 month before the start of the Gathering of Heroes. The atmosphere in the imperial capital is getting more and more tense. Masters from various sects are arriving one after another. The streets are full of monks with swords. At noon on this day, The tea house door. Suddenly he was kicked away violently. Dozens of dancers dressed in black. The fish with a cold expression entered. These dancers learned from each other, holding a hammer made of King Kong in his hand. At first glance, it looks like my grandpa is a master at training. The body exudes not weak spiritual power fluctuations. The leader is a strong man 2 meters tall. Muscles all over the body are as solid as steel. Every step I take makes the ground tremble slightly. This person is the leader of the Iron Fist sect of the imperial capital. Who is the shopkeeper of this tea house? Come out and talk to me. The leader of the Iron Fist clan roared loudly like red thunder. I slowly walked out from behind the counter. Look at this uninvited strong man. Speak calmly. I don't know that you broke into a house by force. What's the matter? I heard that you are in this tea house. The remnants of the earthly spirits that live in the common people. Iron Fist sect. Remnants. A trace of greed flashed in the eyes of the Iron Fist leader. The leader's house issued a reward order. As long as Wen Qingxian and the incomplete Jade Seal are caught, you can get 100,000 top celebrities. Stone statue, please hand over the person immediately. Turns out he's Mo Tsungtian's lackey again. For that half piece of hard life. Even such an unconventional sect. They all started to come out as gunmen. Grabbing it in front of my master. My master just blows a breath. It can turn into a violent wind. What kind of Iron Fist sect are you doing? Blow directly to the outside of Jutianyun. The moment he finished speaking, I just feel that there is a feeling in my heart. An unspeakable surge of vitality. It turned into an extremely terrifying gust of wind. I looked at the strong man with a sinewy face. A playful smile appeared on the corner of the mouth. Gently open your mouth and face his direction. He blew out an extremely weak breath of white air. Call. The white air just left my lips. The white air just left my lips. Surges instantly in the void. It turned into a golden storm tornado that was 100 feet tall. There's violence in that tornado. The method of tranquility of heaven and man, great universe and void. The wind howls by. Keep the tables and chairs in the tea house intact. Only the Iron Fist sect master and his dozens of Vajra Henglian disciples. In an instant, I was struck by a terrifying storm. Rolled up directly into the high sky. Senior, please forgive me. The miserable wailing sound comes from beyond the sky. Pass down intermittently. Then disappear in the wind. Wait until the storm subsides completely. The people of the Iron Fist sect have completely disappeared. I guess I was really blown away. I don't know how many miles away in the wilderness. People watching at the entrance of the tea house. Looking at this scene in stunned silence. Everyone was trembling with fear. The way you look at me is like looking at a god. Oh my god. Blow a breath. He blew away the Iron Fist leader. Who is this man in white? I held up my sleeves calmly, turning his head and looking at the stunned Liu Chengfeng. He commanded calmly, Chengfeng, go and repair the door again. Yes, it's finished. Yes, completely obeyed. Liu Chengfeng wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, running around and crawling to buy materials. The awe of me in my heart is even deeper. After this, the reputation of Qingfeng Tea House spread throughout the imperial capital overnight. Everyone knows this corner. There lived an unfathomable white-clothed immortal. Even those who were domineering on weekdays, disciples from famous sects passing by the tea house, they all lowered their proud heads. Don't dare to make any sound. But the calm before the storm, always extremely short-lived. There is only half a month left until the Heroes Conference. The black market auction in the imperial capital quietly begins. On this night when Qingxian Limited came to my room with a solemn expression, hand me a black invitation. There is a simple leaf printed on it. My benefactor, this is the black market invitation from Jiuobao Pavilion. It is said that at the auction tonight, a Xiantian Sutra will appear. That is the key material to repair that Sungcheng seal. I took the invitation and looked at it, faintly circulating strange formation fluctuations. Slightly sweaty hands. That being the case, then let's go to Jiuobao Pavilion tonight. As night falls, the four of us, under the leadership of Liu Chengfeng, come, four of us, under the leadership of Liu Chengfeng, arrive at the most prosperous Shuqiu Street in the imperial capital, walked into the splendid Jiuobao Pavilion. Life in Jiuobao Pavilion is ruined. Top warriors from all over the world, Everyone gathers here and waits. This 5-year event begins. We were arranged on the second floor, in a luxurious VIP box. Through a special one-way crystal. You can clearly see the hall below. The auction will start soon one by one. Priceless treasures. Put on stage for auction. It triggered a frenzy of competition. The next lot. It is the Xiantian Sutra that is rare in 10,000 years. Contains the extremely pure magic power of the universe. The auctioneer in red on the stage introduced loudly. I saw it floating quietly in the white jade tray. A piece of completely black but exuding. Simple gold jewelry with cyan light printed on silver. It's the Xiantian Jing we're looking for. This item was auctioned for more than 10,000 yuan for snacks. Each price increase shall not be less than 1,000. The auctioneer's voice fell. There was a burst of exclamation in the hall. 10,000 snacks is a lot of money. Ordinary sects go bankrupt. Today's wealth is hard to come by. Wealth comes today. The hall fell into silence for a while. More than 20,000 snacks. Just then the neighbor's opinion. Suddenly there was a sound in the luxury box. An extremely arrogant young voice. The young master of Xiantian Jing has taken a fancy to this. Who dares to compete with this young master? Just can't get through to my alliance leader's mansion. Hearing the 3 words alliance leader's mansion, the monks in the hall sighed. Obviously he didn't dare to offend this huge creature. I had no choice but to give up on the Jing faction. I frowned slightly and was about to make a bid. But I saw the curtains of the box next door were opened, revealing a man wearing a gorgeous golden robe. A young man with an arrogant look. This person is Mo Kangshan's illegitimate son. 7 men are domineering in the imperial capital. The young master Mo Kuang who everyone loves like a tiger. Zhu Xinghan curled his lips when he saw this. He looked at the arrogant Mo Kuang next door. He turned to me and said loudly, "Master is just a clown. My master is of the highest quality and his spiritual consciousness is like dung. As long as he is on the ground casually. Pick up an ordinary meruishi. Pinch it gently with your fingers. Meruishi can be transformed in an instant. The purest and rarest in the world. Dissolved in an instant. The purest and rarest in the world. 9-color fairy stone. Priceless. The moment its voice just fades away. I only feel the laws of creation within my body. Like a volcanic eruption. Squirting out from my right index finger. I picked one up from the flower pot. Black pebbles for base. Rub it gently in the palm of your hand. An extremely dazzling 9-color. Spread across the ground. All defensive formations in Duobao Pavilion. At this moment everyone sounds a violent alarm. This is legendary. How is it possible to be a 9-colored immortal? This kind of fetish has long since become extinct. The master of Duobao Pavilion was so shocked that he rushed out from the backstage. He stared at the pill in my hand. Exquisite and stunning with 9-colored divine light. My eyes will pop out of their sockets. Trembling violently all over. Mo Kuang's smile suddenly froze on his face. He looked at the fairy stone in my hand. He looked at the Xiantian Sutra in his hand again. I just feel like my self-esteem has been ruthlessly trampled on. Who are you? How dare you make trouble in Duobao Pavilion? Believe it or not, this young master destroyed your drinking fortune. Mo Kuang roared hysterically. I gave him a faint look. Take that piece of chives with you. Lost to the stupid auctioneer. The tone is as calm as water. Without any warmth. Use this stone in exchange for Xuantianjing. I don't know what you think. Change, 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 willing to change. The master of Duobao Pavilion nodded and shouted desperately. For fear that I will regret it. He quickly personally offered Xuantianjing his hands. We got the gold stone in a big way. In the eyes of Mo Kuang Yuan who read to the extreme. Slowly walked out of the gate of Duobao Pavilion. Came to the cold street. However, we have just walked out not far. Suddenly pouring out of the surrounding alleys. Hundreds of masked assassins dressed in black. Block our retreat. Mo Kuang brought 2 old men in black. Slowly walked out of the darkness. With an extremely ferocious murderous intent on his face. The boy left the sacred stone and the gold stone behind. Those 2 old men exuded. The powerful aura of perfection in the Divine Sea realm exudes. The powerful aura of perfection in the Divine Sea realm. Apparently he was secretly cultivated by the Alliance leader's mansion. At this time, experts specialize in killing people and seizing treasures. Ning Xiaochuan stepped forward and grasped the iron axe. There was an unprecedented flash in his eyes. Cold and fearless murderous intent. Insulting the master and beheading him. Yu also hugged the bones in her arms tightly. She looked at the two arrogant old men in black. He turned to me and shouted loudly. Master, these bad guys really overestimate their abilities. The old man of Ming Dynasty calmed the world with his song. Flick the strings a few times. Musical notes can turn into 10,000 divine thunder sword energy. Kill all these bastards. With the praise of my little apprentice Yu. I just feel the music of Jiuxiao Jade Thunder in my mind. Comprehensive in an instant. The thunderous fresh sea in the body is completely boiling. I look calm from the void. Slowly took out the old guqin. Sweeping the sleeves on the cold blue stone. He sat down cross-legged in the air. Since my disciple wants to listen to the piano, that work will be for you today. Play a song that gives you a gift. My index finger suddenly twitched on the strings. Fight for a high and clear piano sound. Like the nine heavens divine thunder landing in the night sky. The explosion was deafening. The moment when the yin floats away from the strings. Thousands of waves condensed out of thin air in the void. Golden thunder sword chi as thick as a water vat. Every path contains the realm of heaven and man. The supreme way of destruction. Thousands of swords come together to block out the sky and the sun. The entire sky within the irrational radius. Completely dyed a brilliant golden color. No, this is impossible. You are a powerful person in the realm of gods and humans. Those two old men in black who have reached the divine sea realm. Let out a desperate scream. Thunder sword energy roared past. Didn't give them any chance to resist. Mo Kuang and the hundreds of people he brought. At this moment, the master of Mengzhu axe. In the dazzling golden thunder light. Ashes and smoke, even a trace of scum. None of them can be left in this world. The night sky became calm again. All that is left is a patch of ground riddled with holes. Proving that the miracle happened just now. Liu Chengfeng and Wen Qingxian stood aside. The whole person is completely dead. The power of benefactor. Invincible. When Qingxian fell to his knees on the ground. Clear eyes full of enthusiasm. He seemed to have seen the return of the god of war. He seemed to have seen the return of the god of war. I slowly put away the guqin and stood up. Looking at the ashes on the ground, I flicked my sleeves. He looks calm as if something is going on. Nothing ever happened. Let's go back to the tea house. I held Su Qinghan's hand. With 3 apprentices and 2 followers. Slowly returned to Qingfeng tea house. In the next few days, the imperial capital was completely blown up. The young master of the alliance leader's mansion, Mo Kuang, and 2. A perfect master of the divine sea realm disappears for no reason. Not even a single clue was left. Mo Xangtian was furious in the alliance leader's mansion. All the spies were sent out to search the city. The entire imperial capital was in turmoil for a while. The atmosphere is extremely depressing. But we spent time in the tea house. The most leisurely mortal life. Xiantian Jing was used by me to create all things. Perfectly integrated into the hard fragments of life. The green light exploded on the incomplete jade seal. The core principles are constantly repairing themselves. The cultivation level in my body has also increased. Faintly reached the perfect state of heaven and human realm. Until 3 days before the start of the gathering of heroes. I plan to take my apprentice to the imperial capital. Buy some fresh vegetables in the slums. Take a look at the scenery at the bottom of the imperial capital. Walking in the dark and damp. In a dark and damp narrow alley. Surrounded by ragged beggars. Exudes an unpleasant sour smell. Su Qinghan looked at these people with some sympathy. Suddenly my eyes fell on the street corner. A man with broken legs and disheveled hair. The old beggar's body was covered in wounds. Looking for leftovers in the trash. Although his face is covered with black turtles and thick sores. But I still recognized him at a glance. This person is the one I came back from back then. The third battle will be the pulse-breaking Spear King. Iron War. Back then he withdrew his legs to cover me. Both legs were abruptly interrupted by Mo Xangtian. The meridians were destroyed and he became a useless person. I didn't expect that I would be begging here to survive. Iron War. Is it you? I walked over slowly with a trembling voice. Squatting in front of the old beggar. A trace of extreme sadness and self-blame flashed in his eyes. The old beggar trembled and raised his head. When he saw my white clothes. And that deeply familiar face. Muddy tears instantly burst out from my crotch. Master, the master is really you. The iron stack must be an embarrassment to its owner. The old beggar lay on the ground and cried loudly. The sound is so miserable that the listener is sad. Su Qinghen and Ning Xiaochuan were extremely sad to hear this. Su Qinghen and Ning Xiaochuan meet. My eyes couldn't help but turn red. It was the first time they saw Master reveal his such sad and angry emotions. Taizhong, you have suffered. I stretched out my hand and gently put it on his wrist. Tai Di Jing Gui Yao Lu's life is great. Running widely at this moment. The golden sea of thunder roars in my body. Endless vitality flows along my fingers. Flows crazily into Taizhong's shriveled body. Reshaping his broken bones and meridians. The sound of clicking is endless. In the shocked eyes of Su Qinghan and others. The two-headed battle that lasted 5 full years. It actually grew again at a speed visible to the naked eye. Meridians that were originally dry and shrunken. Under the nourishment of the law of vitality. Becoming tougher and broader than before. Cultivation also recovered crazily in an instant. In just a few moments, the Iron War was intact. Standing in front of me, he was exuding the powerful aura of the early stage of Shanghai Mirror. He plopped down on his knees in front of me. Taizhong thanks his master for his kindness in reincarnation. This life belongs to the master, and death belongs to the master. Taizhong cried like a child. There is a raging fire of revenge in my eyes. Let's fight hard. I patted his shoulder and said softly, tell me about Mo Tsangtian in the past 5 years. What conspiracy is being hatched secretly? Taizhong wiped away his tears and said solemnly, in order to break through the heaven-human realm, the master Mo Tsangtian. A statue was placed deep inside the Alliance leader's palace. The extremely cruel formation to seize Yuan clan's soul. He plans to attend the meeting of heroes 3 days later. Use the great formation to seal off all those in the world. The cultivation of the sect master and elite disciples is nothing. Deprived of all the refining fire in an instant. After listening to Taizhong's words, Wen King Xuanhei, Liu Chengfeng and the 2 men suddenly took a breath of air. Unbelievable fear written all over his face. Mo Tsangtian is a lunatic who wants to destroy the entire world. Idiots are just talking about dreams. I sneered and a flash of light flashed in my eyes. The ultimate chilling murderous intention. As long as this work is in the sky, he will not come down. 3 days passed by in a flash. It was a cloudless morning. The atmosphere in the entire imperial capital reached its peak. The gathering of heroes takes place in the center of the imperial capital. Grand opening in Kowloon Plaza. Tens of thousands of people from all over the country. The powerful men of the sect and the powerful casual cultivators gathered here. The whole square was packed with water. A high platform in the center of the square. Mo Tsangtian is wearing a golden 9-dragon robe. Sitting on the dragon throne with great majesty. Looking down at all the sentient beings below. However, his pair of dark demons. Hitami. The voice is strongly blessed, echoing in the square like a big red brigade. Today at the conference, I will announce a major event related to the future destiny of Jianghu. As long as all my comrades and I work together, you can share the longevity report. His words fell to the surrounding stands. Strong men from all major sects agreed one after another. They don't even realize themselves. Already stepped into the trap of death. Just when Mo Tsangtian was about to get up in secret. The critical moment of Luo Yuan's soul formation. Suddenly at the gate of the square. An extremely high-pitched and clear cry of devotion. The plaque of Qingfeng Tea House opens the way ahead. Wei Shibai looked indifferent. Insu Qinghan Lin Xiaochuan are you. Accompanied by Taizhong and Wen Qingxian. Very rhythmic step by step. Walked slowly towards the center of the square. Liu Chengfeng shouted loudly from the side. Breaking the hypocritical and peaceful atmosphere at the scene. Shen Sangsheng, the Lord of Jianghu's Sword Pavilion. Come with all your disciples to pay homage to Lord Mo Meng. This crisp voice is blessed by spiritual power. It spread throughout the entire Kowloon Plaza in an instant. In an instant, the eyes of tens of thousands of monks. All gathered on our group. Shen Sangsheng. Why does this name sound familiar? Oh my god, I remember the big hero from 5 years ago. It rumored that his meridians were completely destroyed and he became a useless person. The square suddenly erupted into an overwhelming amount of discussion. Mo Tsangtian stood up suddenly on the dragon chair. He stared intently at the iron stack next to me, and the one in my hand that exudes a faint blue light. half of the restored Sangsheng seal. Shen Sangsheng, you are indeed not dead. How dare you bring these remnants with you? Come and cause trouble at our gathering of heroes. Mo Sangtian roared with madness in his eyes. My comrades, this man is crazy. Dear comrades, this person was in those days the martial arts traitor who colluded with the demon clan. Everyone joins me in killing him. Mo Sangtian shamelessly confused right and wrong and shouted. However, the heads of the major sects in the stands. But they all showed hesitation and vigilance. They are not stupid. They have heard about it these days. The Immortal in White investigates the reputation of destroying Lai Yang. Su Qinghan laughed disdainfully when she saw this. He pointed at Mo Sangtian on the high platform. The sound spread crisply throughout the square. Mo Sangtian, you shameless thief. You stole my master's achievements and magic weapon. Still want to confuse right and wrong here? Just with your hundreds of kilograms of rotten bones. He is worthy of shouting in front of my master. My master is the master of this world. The old man just flicked his fingers casually. It can trigger the 9 heavens divine thunder to turn into a golden dragon. Completely block this alliance leader's house like you. Ning Xiaochuan was holding the iron axe on his shoulder. The door voice said, Master points out a catastrophe and it will happen. Are you also hugged the Guqin tightly and Shensheng agreed. Master can destroy all evil spirits with one body. Along with the 3 apprentices and the surrounding rescuers. Absolute admiration from the bottom of my heart without reservation. The common people's seal deep in my eyebrows is empty. Common people's seal of emptiness. Staring at Bakuma completely for a moment. Suddenly, the sky above the entire imperial capital. Out of thin air, a piece of sky higher than 10,000 feet was formed. Golden supreme heavenly thunder and sea of fire. Kuzhou is 10 times bigger than before. The 10,000-foot-long golden thunder dragons roared in unison. Earth-shattering dragon roar. The majestic head slowly poked out from the thunder sea, looking down with indifferent eyes. An indescribable surge of perfection from the supreme heavenly beings. Even beyond the realm of gods and humans. Haren's righteousness and divine power instantly enveloped him. The entire Kowloon Plaza was so crowded that thousands of people were frightened. No, this is impossible. How could you have reached this level? Mo Sangtian was so frightened that his face turned pale and his legs trembled violently. The evil energy in the body collapsed and dissipated in an instant. Mo Sangtian's things belong to me. Today you should also spend a lot of time. I vomited it out. I looked calm and pointed lightly in the air. The 9 golden thunder dragons roared, with the supreme power of heaven that destroys heaven and earth. Swooping down from the sky. General Mo Sangtian and the ruins of his alliance leader's mansion. At this moment, he was completely swallowed up in the golden light. The misery was completely swallowed up in the golden light. The screams only lasted a moment. When the lightning dispersed in the center of Kowloon Plaza, only a neat void remains. Mo Sangtian and his evil conspiracy. Completely reduced to ashes, not even ashes left. The hard fragments of life are spinning in the air. It blends perfectly with the mark between my eyebrows. Tens of thousands of monks fell at my feet, shouting Shen Xinren's power as the martial arts leader. However, I looked at what was left in the void. A wisp of extremely deep and extremely dark 9 nether black chi. His brows wrinkled slightly. I stared at that weird wisp of black energy. I know that the crisis behind this big world has not yet been resolved. I took back the business at will. Gently pat the dust off your sleeves. Although Mo Sangtian is dead, but the seal of Jiuyou has been loosened. In the future, Jianghu will surely face an even greater storm. I take a deep breath, feeling at ease. Soldiers are coming to stop them. Water comes and soil covers. Benefactor. Mo Sangtian has been eliminated. This is a major event in the world. I don't know what your plans are. When Qingxian asked softly. His eyes were full of awe and expectation. I stand as a deputy. Smile calmly. Position of leader. It's just a false name. It's just a false name. This is not my intention. I just want to go back to Jiang'e to rest. Everyone heard. Everyone is very impressed. I casually threw the seal of the alliance leader to Taizhong. Let him wait for the position of leader. Rebuilding the world. Taizhong knelt down on his knees in excitement. Kowtow repeatedly. Swear allegiance to death. Never let down the kindness. Master. Then we'll go home. Su Qinghen cheered. Big eyes sparkling. Ning Xiaochuan also silently put away his iron axe. A rare smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. In the admiring eyes of all the heroes in the world. A group of us quietly left Kowloon Plaza. Don't take away a single cloud. Only the white-clothed myth that has been passed down through the ages is left. Liu Chengfeng rides the Qingyun Chengfeng flying boat. Carry us smoothly to the dilapidated sword pavilion. The sea of clouds rolls beneath our feet. Golden light sprinkles. Light up the path home. Along the way, there was constant laughter and laughter in the flying boat. Su Qinghan held Ayu's hand. Chirp. Tell her interesting stories about Jianga in the past. Ayu's big eyes were full of longing after hearing this. Ayu, let me tell you. Our master. That method is simply like gods coming down from the sky. Just pinch a piece of mud. It can be turned into a peerless elixir. You have to be obedient from now on. Ayu was stunned for a moment after hearing this, nodding repeatedly. Her little face is filled with infinite admiration for me. She secretly swore in her heart. You must become a peerless love fairy that makes master proud. Ding detects the belief of his third disciple Au. Firm. A purple cloud of divine light. That divine light is condensed and handleless. Like substance. Protect my soul in it. Henceforth, any spiritual illusion in the world, or a vicious Genshin impact, it will be completely useless to me. I can't help but smile. Pick up the teacup. Africa is extremely fast. Just one day's work. The familiar and beautiful mountain railing is already in sight. The rescued and warm Jianga quietly helps, welcoming the master's return. Go home. Finally arrived home. Su Qinghan was the first to jump off Africa. Bouncing, laugh, smiling, like a cheerful little bird, she ran towards the small courtyard, pushed open the courtyard door, fallen leaves fell on the ground, and Ning Xiaochuan also walked down the stairs silently. Zhu picked up the broom and cleaned the courtyard skillfully, while Wen Qingxian helped move the luggage into the house, like a virtuous and gentle person. Butler, I lay back comfortably on the Taisha chair, closed my eyes, and basked in the warm sunset. This trip to the imperial capital. Although it was thrilling, I finally understood the grudges of the past. However, the wisp of wine, oil and black gas that Mo Sangtian released before his death, it always makes me feel a little uneasy and wary in my heart. It seems. Don't slack off on the path of spiritual practice. Master, what shall we eat tonight? Su Qinghan lay on the back of my chair, eager. My belly made a cooperating growling sound. This made Ayu on the side couldn't help but chuckle. I opened my eyes, scratched her nose lovingly. You girl, just know how to eat, that's all. Master will cook a meal for you today. A fresh meal that can truly condition your roots and bones. I started walking towards the kitchen. Show off. I took out some ordinary ingredients bought in the imperial capital, but under my divine way of creation. These ingredients instantly glow with a different kind of aura. I washed the common pheasant. Put in casserole. I threw in a few wild fruits picked on the roadside. The law of water and fire blending quietly operates. A mysterious fairy sound instantly sounded in the casserole. Just a moment. The aroma of chicken soup is almost transformed into substance, then drifted out from the kitchen. This caused the 3 people in the yard to swallow their saliva wildly. Oh my god. The aroma of this chicken soup. Let the spiritual power in the body move on its own. Ning Xiaochuan put down his iron axe, face full of shock. The admiration in the eyes overflows. Master's cooking skills have long been superb. Ordinary ingredients. In the hands of his old man, it can be turned into a golden elixir that brings the dead back to life. Su Qinghan responded loudly, eyes shining. Ding. Detected disciples' excessive worship and flattery. Fake feedback starts. Congratulations to the host. Get 100-fold improvement feedback. Cultivation. Advance to the middle stage of heaven and human realm. I just feel that the spiritual power in my body has surged again. The stable bottleneck is like paper, instantly shattered by violent spiritual power. Every gesture, infinitely. Spirituality moves with the heart. I walked out of the kitchen carrying a big casserole. He smiled and invited a few people to come over and have a meal. When Qingxian and Ayu took the first sip of chicken soup, the whole person froze in place for an instant. That chicken soup melts in your mouth, turn into pure, incomparable vitality, nourished by madness. Every meridian and bone in their bodies, make them so comfortable that they almost moan. Benefactor, this chicken soup is simply, only the gods above the 9 heavens can enjoy it. When King Xuan's face is rosy, breath rising, he actually broke through the realm in an instant. After a meal, the cultivation of several apprentices have been significantly improved and stabilized. I use little faces full of ruddy color, holding the old piano. Start practicing under the moonlight. In the next month, Jiang lived a very regular and warm life. Every morning, 2 apprentices are practicing in the courtyard. Are you Fu Qing? The sound of the piano is pleasant to the ear. Ning Xiaochuan's iron axe is getting heavier and heavier. Every swing can move the air, produces a faint sound of thunder, faintly, with the invincible style of a generation of peerless swordsmen. Ansu Dai is definitely an invincible swordsman. Ansu Qinghan's life, Jinghong, also practiced to perfection. At first sight, leaves 10 feet away. All can be. His unparalleled sword energy cuts neatly. Master, look at my sword. Do you already have the style you had back then? Su Qinghan sheathed her sword and stood still, face turned red. Looking at me eagerly. Ask for praise. I smiled slightly, shaking my head emotionally. Not even close. Sword moves are dead. People are alive. When can you do it? There is no trick to win, but there is a trick. Only then can we truly enter the palace. Su Qinghan stuck out her tongue. Jiao Xiao said, Master is right. In Qinghan's eyes, you are the bright sun hanging high in the sky. We fireflies are nothing compared to. Ding. It was detected that the disciple was sincerely complimenting him. Fate 100 times feedback activated. Congratulations to the host. Obtain the heavenly grade divine sword intent. Haotian sword intent. Cultivation level once again skyrocketed to the peak of the heavenly realm. I just feel the little golden sword in my body. Suddenly a layer of hot and noble crystal flame ignited. That is the Haotian sword intention that is enough to burn away the evil spirits in the world. I suppressed the ecstasy in my heart. His face still maintains an enigmatic and indifferent expression. Not bad. It's good to have this heart. Keep practicing. Don't be complacent. This afternoon, suddenly in the sky, a few heavy black clouds floated over. There is a film faintly revealed in the dark clouds. The extremely evil and familiar spirit of the 9 netherworlds. I frowned slightly. Get out of the bamboo chair. I saw only a small village 10 miles away. At this time, billowing black smoke was rising, accompanied by bursts of miserable villagers' cries. Master, that's Li Jiakan, who usually delivers food to us. Something seems to have happened. Su Qinghan's face changed slightly. Somewhat anxious. Go and have a look when you feel like it. Dejianghu. We can't tolerate these dirty things doing whatever they want. I snorted coldly. Show off. In an instant, he disappeared on the spot with his 3 apprentices. When we show up, Li Jiakan is already a mess. Countless black-clothed demon soldiers. They were driving the villagers away with chains. Push them towards a strange ancient well. Thick black mist emanates from the ancient well. There is a faint, disgusting flow of blood. A tall and famous demon general. Standing tall, the famous demon general. Standing at the mouth of the well. Laugh arrogantly. Cry. Your humble souls. They will all become the nourishment of my Lord Po Feng. Stop. Ugly. Don't hurt anyone. Su Qinghan shouted angrily. The water-repairing sword was instantly unsheathed, turned into a sharp blue-gold red. He slashed straight at the demon general's wrist. When there was a crisp metal collision, the demon general's sword was struck by the shock. He took 3 steps back, looking with some shock and anger. The petite figure standing in front of the woman. Where did the yellow-haired girl come from? How dare? Bad things lead to good things. Kill him for me. The devil waved his hand. Dozens of black-clothed demon soldiers, wielding a long knife, rushed up like crazy. Ning Xiaochuan snorted coldly. Step forward. The iron axe in his hand suddenly stabbed down and then up. A platinum gold domineering fill light, like a new moon, swept out in an instant. The dozens of demon soldiers rushing at the front. The moment I touched the platinum fill light, instantly turned into black smoke and dissipated neatly. I didn't even have time to scream. What? The air of the natural sword bone. A trace of fear flashed in the demon general's eyes. The whole body is ignited with dark and violent demonic fire. Brandishing a long knife. Rush over like crazy. Just then, suddenly in the void, there was a burst of extremely ethereal and mysterious piano music. The sound of the piano is like spring rain moistening the mist, but with it, the majesty of endless thunder that makes demons tremble. Ayu sits on the clean blue stone. The index finger dances on the worn strings. Sounds of golden thunder. Turn into rain of swords. The demon will be shrouded to death. Damn it. There is actually the sound of thunder from the sky. The demon general screamed under the rain of thunder and swords. The demonic fire all over his body was quickly extinguished in the lightning. Fear and despair finally showed in his eyes. These young people. It's obvious depending on your age. Just a teenager. Why is strength so terrifying? Just like a group of monsters. Ugly. See. My master is great, right? His old man. You don't even have to snap your fingers yourself. You are going to die in our hands. A trace of my master's thoughts. That's it. Turn into the greatest will in the world. Even heaven must obey his orders. Su Qinghan laughed. The little face is full of fonts. Ding. Detection of face full of font size. Ding. Detected disciples excessive praise. Fake feedback starts. Congratulations to the host. Cultivation breaks through the bottleneck of heaven and human realm. Promoted to the supreme realm of transcendence. Boom. I just feel deep in my mind. On top of that little golden sword. Suddenly, a 9-color chaos lotus was born. Every gesture. The laws of space are in my heart. I even feel. Just think. Just draw. Can tear apart the space in front of you. Go where you want to go. Wonderful. I walked forward calmly, looking at the struggling demon general. A flick of the finger. A faint golden flame. Instantly fell on the magician's armor. No earth-shattering noise occurred. The moment the demon general touched the flames, the whole person instantly turned into a wisp of smoke, disappeared without a trace. Very clean. Immortal help. Thank you, Immortal. The villagers fell to their knees one after another, kowtowed desperately. The joy of surviving the disaster fills the face. The way you look at me is like looking at a god. I waved a soft spiritual power. Help the suffering villagers one after another. No need to be polite. Kill demons and demons. This is something I should do within my time limit. I noticed that in the corner not far away, a little boy of 11 or 12 years old, holding tightly to a shimmering plant. Green herb. Looking with some fear. The boy is ragged, covered in mud, but I can feel it in him. A rare breath of life spirit. Able to communicate with plants and animals. Grandpa, don't take my elixir. I want to use it to save my father and mother. Little boy with red eyes. Hoarse voice. Look at me pleadingly. Shivering. I stepped forward. Squat down gently. Child, don't be afraid. Uncle is not a bad person. I won't take this herb from you. I touched his head gently. I extend my right hand. Caress the herbs gently. Ordinary herbs that were originally withered. It suddenly became full of life. Exudes an intense green light. Oh my God. Spring comes out of dead trees. The old man who knew some medicine couldn't help but exclaimed. The little boy's eyes widened in disbelief. The tears in my eyes stopped instantly. Uncle Fairy. Please. Save. My parents. They are under a spell. My parents. They were poisoned. The doctors in the village all said there was no cure. The little boy fell to his knees with a plop. Follow him into a dilapidated mud house. I saw a pair of people with dark faces lying on the kang. Dying young couple. It's obviously a critical moment of life and death. I took a ride on my. Smile slightly. Merely grinding poison. Why bother? Xiao Han. Go get a bowl of clean water. Su Qinghan responded quickly. Run quickly. After the water is brought. I casually took it from my arms. Take out a 9-turn yellow soul pill. Crush. Turn into chicken powder and dissolve in water. Hand it to madam. The water instantly turned into a light golden color. Little guy. Give this water to your parents. Take it. They'll be fine soon. The little boy hurriedly took it. Cautiously. Feed it to 2 seriously ill people on the kang. It only takes 3 breaths. Only saw. The 2 spit out mouthfuls of foul-smelling black blood. The black air on his face dissipated completely in an instant. The face begins to become rosy and shiny. Child, where are we? Young couple opens eyes. A little confused. After seeing the little boy safe and sound. Hug the crying child tightly. Dad, are you willing? Follow my master back to Jiang'e to practice. Learn 1. The boy was stunned. Immediately overjoyed. The disciple's name is Mu Ling. Willing. Willing. Mu Ling meets Master. Wish Master happiness and longevity. Longevity without borders. Mu Ling plops down your land. Respectfully performed the apprenticeship ceremony. Ding. Accept 4 disciples. Mu Ling. Get 100x feedback. Qing Emperor's 10,000 Eyes of Spring Awakening. Improve your cultivation to the middle stage of the extraordinary realm. I helped Mu Ling up. Nod with satisfaction in eyes. Good boy. Get up. From today, you are the 4th disciple of my sword pavilion. Mu Ling nodded. Step forward and hand over a beautifully crafted wooden sword that you carved by yourself. Pass a beautifully crafted wooden sword that you carved as a greeting. Junior brother, in times of crisis. Cuckoo can defend himself. Mu Ling is flattered. Wang Shou is good. Master, then we can go back. Yu holds the Guqin aside and says with a smile. After this trip, we were a little hungry. When everyone heard this, they all laughed. We brought our new apprentice Mu Ling, and, expressing gratitude to his parents, he strolled all the way back to Dajianghujianga. As the sun set, the mountains and forests became peaceful and beautiful. Well, in the next half-month, there was a thin and busy figure in Jianga. Mu Ling would be in the backyard flowers every morning, watering those fairy grass elixirs in the flower garden. Very sensible. Strange to say, since Mu Ling came, ordinary elixirs from the flower garden can be used in just a few days. Rich ripples of spiritual energy bloomed. The growth rate is more than 10 times faster. There are even some rare herbs that have cried to death. Under the careful care of Mu Ling, he even miraculously came back to life. Seeing this, Wen Qingxian was amazed for a while. Master, Mu Ling Kai is really awesome. I saw him stop on the grass. I tried my best to look for those flowers and plants outside. It's almost like he wants to be reincarnated first. I senti it. Even the medicine prepared by Master. The taste is getting sweeter and sweeter. Drink it in one gulp. Can directly break through the bottleneck. Su Qinghan also followed suit and blew hard. Ding. Disciple detected unreasonable flattery. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Obtain the supreme wood law. All things are born. Cultivation level skyrocketed to the late stage of the extraordinary realm. I just feel the 9-color chaos in my body. In an instant, the green leaves spread out. A strong vitality law stirred up. The air in the entire sword pavilion is filled with sweetness. Teach you how to use spiritual power to condense fine needles. Execute supreme medical skills that can bring the dead back to life. I asked Mu Ling to come over. Smile and speak. Mu Ling ran over quickly. Eyes shining. Yes, Master. Disciples must study seriously. I will definitely live up to Master's fine teachings. My hands are slightly sweaty. Stretch out your long index finger. My fingertips moved slightly. A touch of light green. A slender magical needle full of endless vitality, gathered in the void out of thin air, exuding the extremely sacred and noble light of the avenue. Mu Ling was fascinated. In mind. In an instant, countless mysterious things appeared. Acupuncture techniques and ancient medicinal recipes. He immediately knelt on the ground, kowtow with worshipful face. Poor children are always more sensible. I can't help but feel a little pity in my heart. But now that he has entered my sword, rest of life, I am sure that he will have a worry-free life. Just when it's warm. Without warning, a black wind burst into the sky. A terrifying phantom of the 9-nether throne. Suddenly the self-proclaimed system descended on the sword pavilion. Examine the common people, the king of 9 netherworlds. Today I'm here to take your head. Take back business. The seal is broken. The terrifying demonic energy swept over instantly. That sound was huge. The shock caused the surrounding mountain railings to tremble violently. Trees broke and collapsed. In the void, countless dark demonic energy crazily condensed into dark clouds. King of 9 netherworlds. Behind Moat Sungtian. The real mastermind. Finally in. I can hold it back at this moment. Crossing the border in person. That pressure actually reached the peak of the extraordinary realm. The hidden rat. Dare to come and act wild in front of my sword pavilion. In cold, growing from above, dressed in white and facing the strong wind, unparalleled style, Su Qinghan and 3 others also rushed out of the house. He was guarding the woods and the small courtyard with a solemn expression, the weapons in their hands all shine brightly, staring at the dark night in the sky without fear. Master, although this big guy is very crazy, but in front of your old man. But it is an example of a minister who can be easily bounced away. Although Su Qinghan was nervous, still cheering loudly. That's right. Master is supreme. 9 heavens and earth. You can reshape the void with just a wave of your hand. Ning Xiaochuan holds a big iron axe. Echoed loudly. His eyes are full of firm belief that he will win. Ding. It is detected that the disciple is facing a strong enemy. Produce the ultimate absolute worship. Produce the ultimate absolute worship. 100 times feedback. Start. Congratulations to the host. Cultivation promotion. To the ultimate perfection. Rumble. Chaos lotus inside me. In an instant, it completely turned into water. Incomparable golden divine ring. Deep in mind. The chaos body makes the sound of a real jade dragon. That moment, I feel as if became the sole master of this vast river and lake. In one thought, can determine the life and death of all things in the world. This powerful force, so intoxicating. I look up, looking at the darkness in the sky. The corners of the mouth are slightly raised. Show a touch of indifference. Since you want to die. For today, let you see the real Jinghong. I didn't use any high-level spiritual treasures. Just press your 10 and middle fingers together casually. Turn into sword fingers. Toward the crack in mid-air. Pointing out in an ordinary way. Brush. A line is only as thick as a finger, but it shows the ultimate brilliant golden sword light of the avenue. Spanning thousands of feet of void in an instant. Submerged directly into the depths of the dark crack. No loud noise. Only the king of 9 netherworlds. In a moment, screamed in terror. This is impossible. You are deity. His voice, wiped away by the light in an instant. Next moment, the one that blocks the sky. Black seam in void, under the pale golden light. It was even neatly stitched up. Heaven and earth have regained their clarity. The sun shines in the courtyard again. The big trees sway gently in the wind. The terrifying clone of the 9 netherworld king. Even my will cannot be revealed. Instantly disappeared into ashes. The scene fell into deathly silence again. Su Qinghan opened her mouth very far. Mu Ling's little face was filled with awe. They stared blankly at my retracted fingers. Master, you just took that finger. It's like using the sky as clothing. Just sew it and it's done. So handsome. Su Qinghan was the first to come to her senses. Jumping and cheering. Ning Xiaochuan and Yu also nodded repeatedly. The fire of worship in my eyes burns hotter than the sun. Tai stood aside and watched, trembling all over. Shout loudly that the master is mighty and powerful. When Qingxian held the incomplete seal of common people, beautiful eyes glowing with color. There is a color in the words of my heart. Heartfelt words. Duke Shen is here. This big river and lake. Nothing to worry about. The devil will eventually get cold. I smiled lightly. Lie back on the main chair. A trivial trick. Why bother? People who practice. To borrow from pride. You guys go back and continue practicing. Yes, master. For apprentices. Echoed in unison. His expression is solemn and firm. They started working separately again. Reorganize the courtyard that was just shaken by coercion. Look at their hard work. My heart is full of satisfaction. Take the spiritual path again in this life. To be accompanied by these sensible disciples. What a joy. But what was just eliminated was that wisp of spiritual avatar of the king of 9 netherworlds. To completely avoid future troubles, must go to the sealed core of the 9 nether abyss. Suppress it. And to open the core of the ancient seal, you need to collect 3 ancient magic weapons. Except for common people's seal, there is also the Qiankuan Ding, and the Wuliang Tai Chi sword that has been lost for many years. Miss Wen, do you know the Qiankuan Ding? Where are you now? I turned my head. Ask softly. Think for a moment. The eyebrows are slightly furrowed. Qi Binjengong. Rumor has it that Qiankunding. Now it is Shenzhou Villa in the north of Dejianghu. Collect as a treasure of the town. Shenzhou Villa. That's a legacy. An ancient sect that has practiced Qi for thousands of years. There are many experts in the village. And his temper is extremely weird. An idle person can never get even half a step closer. That being the case, Then go to Shinju Villa. Take a walk. Just happen to help Xiaochuan by the way. Reforge the sky-opening iron axe in his hand. I smiled slightly. Made up one's mind. Let Xiaochuan hear it. Dance for a while. Walk forward holding the iron axe. A little excited. Thank you master for your love. Disciples must defend my sword pavilion to the death. Okay, junior brother Xiaochuan. Just stop saying these sour oaths. Su Qinghan smiled and patted his shoulder. Go pack your luggage quickly. Set off tomorrow. One morning. We ride again. Qingyun Chengfeng flying boat. Driving with Liu Chengfeng. All the way north. Heading north quickly. Along the way, the northern scenery gradually becomes desolate and vast. Endless. Snowy mountains and black wasteland. Above the sky. Looks extremely majestic. Master, it's so cold in the north. I want to eat hot pot. The kind that's particularly spicy. Able to sweat. Su Qinghan rubbed her little hands. His little face was full of anticipation and he pulled me to the side. I smiled lovingly. Good. Waiting for it. At the foot of Shinju Villa. Master will use the stone Shinto to cook you a meal. The unique snow mountain hotpot in the world. Master is the best. Master is here. We feel like we are celebrating the new year in the fairy world every day. The four disciples cheered in unison. Have fun. Africa is filled with laughter as warm as spring. When Qingxian sat aside, looking at tenderly, the reverence for me in my heart has turned into the strongest belief. Benefactor. It is truly the most perfect supreme existence in this world. After 3 days of fast sailing, ahead there is a tower thousands of feet high. Empty dark red volcano, finally appeared in sight. This is Shenzhushan volcano, finally appeared in sight. This is Shinju Villa. The volcano faintly exudes an extremely ghostly atmosphere, and the fire aura of the male soul fluctuates. Even the clouds in the sky were dyed a faint dark red. This is exactly the foundation of Shinju Villa. Elder Shen, Shinju Villa has rules. Outsiders are not allowed to use magic weapons to enter the villa directly. Liu Chengfeng reminded softly from the side. We decided to land at the foot of the mountain. Walk uphill. Africa in a cold and quiet place. The snow mountain town fell. Small town. There is an endless stream of monks coming and going. In many hands. All holding broken magic weapons. Looking a little anxious. Have you heard? Shinju Villa today held the 5-year-old Baichi event. As long as we can come up with rare materials, then you can ask the owner of the village to forge the magic weapon himself. The monks on the street were talking a lot. Su Qinghan, beautiful eyes light up. Say to me, Master, we're just in time now. Ask the village owner to recast the iron axe for junior brother Xiaochuan. I smiled. Touched Mu Ling's head. Go fill your stomach first. Tonight, eat hot pot. Wait until you are full. Tomorrow, we are full. Tomorrow, we swaggered up the mountain to enjoy the heat. We found a clean room in town. Stay in a remote inn. In the backyard. Raise the big iron dial. Take out new, fresh. Spiritual flesh. Could it be that the legendary divine elixir was released from the press? Countless strong men and trainers in the town. Follow the scent one after another. Came over like crazy. Just a moment. Outside the small courtyard of the inn, they were surrounded by people who stretched their necks and swallowed saliva wildly. Everyone looked at the pot of red wine eagerly. The snowy mountain hot pot is churning with rich vitality. Several comrades. I don't know what this is. Magic elixir. Can you sell me one? I am willing to give you more than 1,000 snacks. An old man with red hair squeezed into the courtyard. Face full of eagerness. Su Qinghan is biting a crispy piece. Sweet shabu-shabu pork. What, dinner? This kind of fresh soup that contains the vitality of the laws of heaven and earth, is actually just dinner. All the strong people in the audience. Swallowing saliva, the worldview completely collapsed at this moment. Master could make the most ordinary food with just a wave of his chopsticks. Materials turned into miracles. You ordinary people don't understand the realm at all. Su Qinghan licked her lips and said loudly, ding. It was detected that 2DI was flattering him in a reasonable manner and received 100-fold feedback. Congratulations to the host for raising his cultivation level to the peak of the extraordinary realm. Perfection, half a step away from the serenity of the legendary myth, a bright and beautiful light was revealed on the chaotic lotus in my body. Bright. Please help me. Don't bother me waiting. Enjoy dinner. A supreme majesty. In an instant, all the strong men in the audience were forced to retreat obediently. That night, all the strong men in the town. I remember this shabby inn. I've all remembered the place in this shabby inn. There lived a man in white clothes and black hair. Heroic thin hair. The mysterious young swordsman who is unfathomable. One morning, we braved the snow. Not only did he walk slowly towards Shinju Villa. How many mountain roads are there? The higher you go, the higher the temperature. Halfway up the mountain it is already warm as spring. The gate of Shinju Villa is made of 1 yin shuanti. Cast. 10 feet high. Brilliant and magnificent. The door is already crowded. Countless strong men. Waiting in line to enter the event. Just when we were about to line up to get in. Suddenly, an arrogant shout came from behind. The loser in front of me, please get out of here. Don't block my way to add fire to the door. Look back. A proud young man in red robe. Surrounded by fierce house slaves. Rampage on a fire-breathing red rock horse. Ignoring the people queuing around me. There are some casual cultivators on the roadside who cannot be avoided. He was directly hit by the red rock horse, causing him to vomit blood and fly backwards. His eyes turned cold, and he saw the light flash out of his body. In an instant, he cut off the spirit horse's legs neatly and cleanly. Neat, but with the scream of a horse, the young man in red robe and the slave were caught off guard and the dog fell and chewed you all over. Covered in dust and embarrassed, wailing in pain, "How dare you hurt my mount?" The young man in red robe got up and was hysterical. "He fucked me," and the man's body was cut in 2 pieces. The woman was taken back to Tianhuomen to be a witch. Dozens of Tianhua sect's domestic slaves were ignited with fire and spiritual power, and their expressions were ferocious. They rolled towards us and besieged us crazily. Ning Xiaochuan and a Yugang wanted to take action. Stopped by me. My eyes are slightly cold. These rubbish. I really don't deserve to dirty my disciples' hands. I flicked my finger in the void. A faint golden flame flew out. The flames rise in the storm. Turn into a golden sea of divine fire. Wherever the divine fire passes, the moment of the fiery spiritual power of the slave of the Tianhua sect. It's like seeing a god. Self-extinguishing. This is a solar creature. No? Golden flame. The golden flame passes with precision. Of those people, the gorgeous red robe instantly turned into ashes. They were left wearing tight-fitting clothes and their bellies were shaking. The gods hold their hands high. The young man in red robe ran away frantically, rolling and crawling. The casual cultivators who were lining up suddenly burst out. A burst of earth-shaking laughter. Everyone applauded. Vote for us. The blazing gaze of endless admiration and gratitude. This young man has good tricks. Just. Even if you beat a dog, it depends on the owner. I don't know, Your Excellency. From which sect? An indifferent. An arrogant voice suddenly came from the gate of the villa. Coming up was a man wearing a black flute and a fire. Middle-aged man with heavy sword on his back. Eyes flashing with golden light. Astonishingly a person from the Divine Sea realm. The perfect elder of Shinju Villa. We are the people of Jianghu. Come here today, just for recast iron axe, and visit the owner. I look calm. Look at him calmly. The sleeves trembled slightly. Just this rusty iron axe. The great elder glanced at Ning Xiaochuan's back. Sleeve axe. I couldn't help but Leng Heng said something. Shinju Villa does not cast waste bodies. I couldn't help but Leng Heng said something. Shinju Villa does not cast waste bodies. Please come back. Open your dog eyes and see clearly. Su Qing shouted coldly and snorted. Shout out loudly. My junior brother's iron axe is a sacred object that opens the sky. Master can turn it into a treasure with just a touch. That's right. Master's magical power is unparalleled. Everything in the world is controlled by Master's thoughts. Ning Xiaochuan handed the iron axe in front of him. The ground shattered with a roar. Fighting spirit soaring to the sky. Ding. It was detected that the disciple was facing hunger and irony. Generate legitimate and wild praise. Fate 100 times feedback activated. Congratulations to the host. Obtained the divine level smelting technique, creation dragon. Suddenly there was an extra step in my mind. Ancient magic that emits golden flames. The secrets of forging countless ancient magic weapons. At this moment, I am perfectly in control. I stretched out my right hand calmly. Put it gently on Ning Xiaochuan's rusty iron axe. Since the Great Elder thinks this is scrap metal, then I will open your eyes today. The divine dragon law in the body operates instantly. Lying down gently with my fingers, the rust on the rusty axe suddenly transformed into pure and dazzling golden divine light. Boom! Incredible power. A pair of ancients appeared faintly on the blade of the house. Shenlong golden texture. Thunderous. The terrifying military might exuded. Give presents. Flying sword in everyone's hands. All trembling violently. This instantly melt iron into a magical weapon. Could this be passed down by Master Taiku? God's hand. Great Elder. I was so shocked that my eyes almost popped out of my head. Legs are weak. Who shows off the ancient magical skills again? A rich and fanatical voice came from the depths of the villa. Man for it. Steady and tyrannical pressure comes rushing towards you. The visitor is Tai Kuangtu, the owner of Shenju Villa. I saw his head full of messy red hair, covered in ashes, eyes burning. He is a powerful person in the extraordinary realm who has been famous for many years. The Iron Maniac didn't even look at the Great Elder. Take 3 steps and sit 2 steps apart. Plop. Kneel directly in front of me. Hands trembling. Plop. Kneel directly in front of me. Hands trembling. Senior. Ask seniors to give guidance to juniors. Supreme Forging Avenue. The younger generation is willing to serve you as the master. The eyes of all the casual cultivators and disciples of the villa. Broken to pieces. Condescending. The owner of a village actually gave this to him when they met. The young swordsman in white knelt down and begged to be his disciple. I smiled lightly. Lift up the Iron Maniac. The owner is polite. Guidance is out of the question. I am here today. I just want to borrow the Qiankuan cauldron from your village. I don't know if it's possible. Qiankuan Ding. The Iron Maniac was stunned. Then he patted his chest without hesitation. No problem. Don't talk about borrowing. Senior. If necessary, why don't you give it to your seniors? Everyone was stunned when they heard this. That's the mountain-holding tripod of Shenju Villa. The owner didn't even blink an eyelid. Just say send it and send it. This is crazy. Senior, please come with me. Qiangkunding. Now we are in the back mountain volcano crater. There is an ancient crack suppressed there. There are often demons who want to cleanse across borders. Hear the words Jiuyou crack. A trace of understanding and solemnity flashed in my eyes. It seems that this trip to the north. Take this trip to the north. Indeed. Right time. The mastermind behind the scenes moves very quickly. The Iron Maniac leads the way. Us. A group of people came to the hot volcano crater. All I can see is the top of the rolling lava. Hanging. Float. At this time, the space vortex was gaining momentum, and there were waves of extremely violent and bloodthirsty demonic roars, and the cauldron was violently violent. Trembling, the seal above seems to be disintegrating little by little. Senior, the seal is about to be unable to hold on. Tai Kuangtu looked anxious and worried. There is a great ancient demon suppressed inside. Once it escapes from the trap, all living beings will be burned to death. This great demon will be destroyed in front of the master. In front of him, he was just a bigger reptile. As long as the master spit out some tea, he could turn it into a giant reptile and be blasted away by 10,000 divine thunders. When the ashes disappeared, Su Qinghan's beautiful eyes widened and she said loudly and proudly, "Ah." Yu and Mu Ling also nodded repeatedly. All in my eyes. Yu and Mu Ling also nodded repeatedly. His eyes are full of madness and unreserved adoration. Ning Xiaochuan even waved his heart iron whisk nail without saying a word. Detected disciples' excessive worship and flattery. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Understand one of the ancient 9-character mantras. Spiritual self-realization. Divine power shook the sky for 9 days. I just feel deep in my mind. On top of that little golden sword. Bloom suddenly. The extremely sacred and ancient light of the universe. A mysterious spiritual word. Emerge. Wherever the mind passes. One Xie closes his legs. I look at the roaring black vortex below. Just say one word calmly. Spirit. Although the voice is soft, but heavier than 10,000 jun. Boom. Suddenly there was a sound in the sky. A dull and sacred ancient Buddhist sound. A huge golden spirit emerges from the shadow. Falling from the sky. Hit the face hard. That violent rolling black vortex. The moment I touched the golden shadow. Unexpectedly. There wasn't even a drop of water splashing out. Just be wiped out alive. Completely dissipated. And the dry mouth suspended in mid-air. Kuan. Top. It turned into a golden stream of light on its own. Very well behaved and docile, it fell into my hand. Became only the size of a palm. Didi Liujuan. This was actually suppressed in one word. 9 nether cracks. Even Qian Ding took the initiative. Recognize the master. The iron maniac stays where he is. I feel like my breathing has stopped for a moment. I put the big top in my sleeves. Indifferent. I accepted this one. As compensation. Today I will tell you about the 3 lives before the creation of the gods. I wish you an early breakthrough in the way of the divine weapon. I extend my right index finger. He tapped the iron maniac lightly on his forehead. A mysterious inheritance of chi refining. Instantly disappeared into his mind. Stir up thousands of waves. The iron maniac was greatly shaken. Eyes closed. When he opens his eyes again. Excited. Tears flowed down the face full of ash. Thank you, Master, for your teachings. Disciples will never forget. That's it. We make it effortless. Just don't forget. That's it. We make it effortless. I got the second one at Shenju Villa. Sealed divine weapon. The bottom of heaven and earth. This line. A lot of gain. Next. Only remains. The one located in the vast eastern sea. Infinite Tai Chi sword. As long as the 3 soldiers gather together, the 9 nether catastrophe can be completely sealed. Return the world to a world where everything is in order. Master, are we going to the beach next? I haven't seen the sea yet. It must be very fun. Su Qinghen held my hand. Big eyes full of yearning and excitement. Yes. Next. Go to the Far East Sea. I smiled and touched his little head. Let me cook you a meal. Worldly. The most delicious snow-white steamed carp dinner. Long live Master. Long live the immortal Master. The flying boat set sail again. Driven by Liu Chengfeng. Turned into a stream of cyan light. Outlook. Flying towards the vast east. As the airship flies away from the northern wasteland, the scenery below gradually changes from the vast white snow. Transformed into a lush and dense forest. Finally, there is the endless blue sea. There's more in the air. There is a relaxing sea breeze in the air. End of sea. A mysterious island shrouded in endless lightning. Appears slowly. This is the legendary infinite ship. Island. Dozens of huge steel warships. Top experts from famous schools. Waiting outside the thunder net. Looking hesitant and anxious. This infinite thunder net is too powerful. Even if it is extraordinary and powerful. Even if you force your way in, you will definitely turn into fly ash. Only the ancient sword god. Successor. You can only enter by holding the mark of the sword god. Experts are discussing. Just then, Liu Chengfeng steered Africa to a smooth landing. Our group is in the spotlight. Slowly walking down Africa. Came to the beach. Here comes another group of beggars who are willing to die. He was also carrying an old iron axe in his hand. It's so funny. Jeers came. The one who spoke was a young man wearing a gold silk robe. Came. The one who spoke was a young man wearing a gold silk robe. Holding a jade uniform dust. Looking arrogant. It's the dragon and tiger palace of the great rivers and lakes. Young master. Long Xiaotian. Long Xiaotian is a condescending and cold evil man. This is a bit fragile for me. Snort coldly. There is no dragon and tiger palace's fart thunder suit body protection. You are not even qualified to get close to the thunder net. A mere mine suit. Worse than garbage. Su Qinghan little. Demon. One body. At this moment, fate was triggered again. Ding. Disciple detected unreasonable flattery. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Master the laws of the Supreme Thunder System. Chaos. The cultivation base was successfully promoted to the ancient deified realm. I just feel deep inside my body. That golden divine fetus broke out of its cocoon and turned into a butterfly in an instant. Turned into a statue exactly like me. Golden Chaos God. The 9-color divine circle circulates. This force. Make me feel myself. Just feel yourself. Just wave your sleeves gently. The vast ocean in front of you can instantly evaporate. My offhand moves forward. Go to King Thunder. I didn't use any techniques. Just take one step. With a smile. Walking slowly towards the violent Thunder King. A moment. Everyone stops breathing. Under the eyes of countless people in disbelief. The moment my toes touch the thunder. The violent golden thunder and lightning suddenly. Become a docile sheep. Float away. Thunder retreats wildly. On the sea. Neatly. For our group, we gave way to a golden island that was hundreds of feet wide. Directly leading to the deepest part of the Infinite Sword Island. This, Wanjie was actually asked to retreat. What a powerful existence that defies heaven. The roaring dragons all over the world are kneeling on their knees. Eyes dull. The world view was completely shattered in an instant. I didn't even look at them. Holding Su Qinghan's little hand. With the disciples. Walked in swaggeringly on the avenue. Only countless petrified warriors are left. Entering the deepest part of Infinite Sword Island. The deepest part of a simple and powerful Infinite Sword Island. A simple and majestic blue stone temple quietly casts shadows. The hall and the central one exude black and white. The divine sword of Tai Chi light is suspended in the air. That's the ultimate goal of our trip. Infinite Tai Chi sword. Just. Excalibur. Thousands of dangerous thunder chains entwined. Once touched, it will trigger the world-destroying heaven. Master. Is this the Excalibur? Looks very unconvinced. You old man, just look away at me. He will have to cry, shout, kneel and beg to let you take over. Su Qinghan pointed with her little hand. Laughing loudly. Are you? Mu Ling and Ning Xiaochuan also. Nod yes. Eyes full of indescribable belief in victory. Fanatic faith shocks. Ding. Detecting the sincerity and absolute worship of the disciples. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Master the supreme mythological law. Supreme divine thought. Cultivation level skyrocketed to the late stage of mythical realm. I raised my eyes. There are stars moving in the eyes. The moment the Wuliang Tai Chi sword touched my eyes, the sword trembles violently. Tens of thousands of thunder chains. It automatically untied and dissipated in an instant. Buzz. The infinite Tai Chi sword makes a sound. Extremely clear and cheerful sword sound. Just like, return home from here. Turn into a black and white streamer. Drops flew into my hand. Completely recognize. 3 soldiers gather together. Common people are hard-working. The bottom of heaven and earth. Infinite Tai Chi sword. Inside me right now. Burned fragrance shines. Erupted to let heaven and earth. No one knows the trembling ancient chaotic light battle. All 3 soldiers have been obtained. Miss Wen. Worrying about catastrophe for a long time. It's time to end it once and for all. I stand as a deputy. Dressed in white. His style deeply impressed everyone present. Kowtow to thank Shen Gong. The benefactor is serious. It's under this world. The only savior. When Qingxian and Taishong fell to their knees. Crying with joy. The voice is full of extreme enthusiasm. Master's power. Long live the martial arts leader. Su Qinghan and 4 other disciples also shouted in unison. Cheers. The sound vibrates and disappears for a long time. It's fun. Rong rong. A warm atmosphere fills the temple. Just as we were getting ready to leave for. When sealing the core of the Great Formation, the 9 Nether Abyss, the sky turned completely dark without warning. An extremely huge devil's claw poked out of the air. Those claws are huge and huge. Entangled. The suffocating evil black air. With. To completely crush the entire river and lake. Terrifying force. Shooting towards the Thunder Formation. The true form of the Lord of the 9 Netherworlds arrives across the border. All the creatures in the world are at this moment. Feeling the despair of doomsday. Kneel down and cry. Countless monks looked at Krishna with despair on their faces. Shen Sangsheng. Opportunity is this world. Time of destruction. Bury them all with me. That devilish face appears in the night sky. Let out an extremely cruel and crazy roar. A shameless guy. There is me. Master is here. You devil is not worth mentioning. Su Qinghan shouted loudly. Turn up your face. Unshakable absolute faith and trust in everything. Hongmeng's only needle and thread. Mu Ling shouted loudly. Face resolute. In the passionate mood of the disciples. The hearts of tens of thousands of monks around were also kindled with hope. Immortal Shen will definitely be able to save the common people. Tens of thousands of people poured out the light of faith. Turn into the most brilliant torrent. At this moment, crazy into my body. Shocking ancient and modern times. Ding. Detected the ultimate flattery of all people in the world. Burst of feedback. Congratulations to the host. Beyond all limitations of heavenly rules. Promoted to the Supreme Lord of Chaos. Boom. At this moment, the rules of heaven and earth in the great rivers and lakes. Crazy at my feet. Tremble. It seems that he is asking his king. Take the initiative to surrender. 9-colored divine flames circulate. Behind me. A figure emerged. The supreme illusion that covers the entire starry sky. Thousands of golden lights. Turn the whole dark night of Jianghu. It shines brighter than the day thousands of times. This? What state is this? No, the extremely arrogant king of 9 netherworlds. In the moment I saw the phantom of this god, the entire devil's face distorted in an instant. Those demonic pupils are filled with extreme suffocation. The fear and despair are so extreme that they are suffocating. The color of fear and despair. He desperately wanted to escape from this space. But found. The entire world has been sealed tightly by my divine thoughts. I look indifferent. Slowly stretch out your right hand. Looking at the trembling lord of the 9 netherworlds. He spat out 4 words that were plain but heavier than the stars. 10,000 tribulations. Seal the sky. I gently pressed my finger towards the void. The 3 magic weapons completely merged in an instant. Turn into a sheet covering the endless void. The huge ancient yin and yang tai chi diagram. Rotate. Phi. At the moment of touching the 9-colored divine light. Like white snow meeting the blazing sun. Instant evaporation. Disappeared completely. Completely dissolve. Not only that. It was originally riddled with holes. The extremely dangerous cracks in the 9 nether abyss. Under the suppression of Taigu Tai Chi too. Quiet. At this moment, he was completely sealed forever. Wide. Say nothing. The misery of fear. In the miserable howl of fear. Jiryo. The Lord was beaten back to the lowest level of Jiryo. Never be reincarnated forever. Completely calm down. The sky is blue and quiet again. The golden sun shines down. Warm and peaceful. The cool sea breeze blows. The air is spotlessly clean. Beautiful. Tens of thousands of Jianghu monks stood there blankly. When they realized they are saved, earth-shaking bursts erupted. Crazy cheers with tears of joy. Thank you Shen Xianren for saving your life. Long live Shen Xianren. Long live the Jianghu Jianga. The overwhelming sound echoed throughout the sea area. Countless strong men knelt down and kowtowed. When Qingxian and Taishan also knelt on their knees. Crying with joy. Look at my peerless, extraordinary figure in white. Their benefactor. Finally returned to the top of the world. Saved the world. The 4 apprentices jumped around me excitedly. Su Qinghan pulled my sleeve. Face turned up. Smiling like a peach blossom. I knew it. Master, you are definitely the only invincible in all worlds. I smiled slightly. Pat Su Qinghan's hand. I smiled slightly. Pat Su Qinghan's hand. Okay. Now the catastrophe is over. It's time for us to return to that warm Jianga. Keep planting flowers and grass. Very wonderful. Yes. Return to Jianga to drink fish soup. Su Qinghan laughed. Ning Xiaochuan and Mu Ling also laughed heartily. In the midst of joy, Nebula Africa turns into streamer. Fly back home. The strong men in the world are looking at Africa in the distance. There was endless awe in my heart. Tried Fu Yik, hidden merit and fame. This is the truly extraordinary and extraordinary master. Africa rides the waves. Extremely fast. In our laughter. However. Several days of work. Then he returned to the door. Familiar and warm Shujianj Mountain Gate. In front of the yard. The gate has been blocked by Liu Chengfeng. Shy and single-minded. 7 sides of vermilion. Very festive. Push the door open. Ambrosia in the flower garden. Exuding bursts of refreshing spiritual energy. Oops. It's still the most comfortable at home. Su Qinghan was the first to throw down the Qiu Shui sword. Lie down and roll on the grass comfortably. A happy and carefree smile on the little face. Ning Xiaochuan silently shouldered the new responsibility. Kaitian iron axe. Walk to the woodshed. Continue to chop wood with a humming sound. Extremely diligent. Flashing light. Thunder rumbles softly. You placed the broken bone piano bottle on the stone table. Index finger flying. The sound of the piano is like mountains and flowing water. Echoed in the small courtyard. You are beautiful. Full of warmth and tranquility of home. Mu Ling is like a hard-working little gardener. Holding small wooden spoon. In the flower garden. Watering those lovely elixirs. The herb swayed gently as she passed by. When Qingxian helped put away the specialties he brought back. Give it to me thoughtfully. Brewed a cup of fragrant and warm spiritual tea. Movements are gentle and graceful. Make people feel comfortable. I lay back comfortably on my mind. Holding spiritual tea. Watching the chickens growing in the yard. I hug. For busy apprentices. I couldn't help but raise the corners of my mouth slightly. In a good mood. Master. I want to eat sweet and sour pork ribs. Su Qinghan came over. Little hands hold my feet. And drink chicken soup with sweet fruit. Woodbell species. And drink chicken soup with sweet fruit. The kind planted with woodbells. The most fragrant. I smiled and pinched his little face. Get up. Good. I listen to you. Your belly. It's a bottomless pit. Master, I'm going to cook now. In laughter. I went to the kitchen. Xixie cooking. Under the creation of all things. Every move. They all coincide with the world. The supreme natural law. There are fireworks in the kitchen. Very warm. After a while, a table full of aroma. A supreme gourmet meal transformed into a golden glow. In the eyes of the 4 disciples who were looking forward to drooling. Smoothly served on the stone table. Wow. Master's sweet and sour pork ribs. Simply delicious. Take one bite. I feel like every cell in my body is glowing. Su Qinghan bit her ribs. Full of intoxication and enjoyment. Master's cooking skills are unparalleled in the world. Even if the heaven and earth decay. I can't even eat a grain of rice made by Master's hand. Yu and other apprentices followed and praised him wildly. Ding. Detected disciples' excessive worship and flattery. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Understand the ancient immortal will. Cultivation and annihilation of will. Cultivation. Reach the ultimate realm beyond all rules. The little chaos man inside me. In an instant. Completely one with the body. I will never grow old from now on. Immortal. Immortal. Looking at the laughing apprentice. There is warmth in my heart. This powerful force. For me. But it's better to protect these lovely ones. Children. In here. No one can hurt the plants and trees in Jiang'e. After meal. Mu Ling pulls my big sleeves. Pointing to an open space in the corner of the courtyard. Big eyes. Shiny. Master. I want to be here. Plant some shiny moonflowers. Good. It all depends on you. Master, tomorrow morning. Plant with you. I smiled and nodded. Mu Ling ran back to the room happily. Small mouths are dangerous. Continue reading his fairy and demon pharmacopoeia. It's late at night. The breeze makes the bamboo forest rustle. I'm lying on bamboo chair. And what makes me feel warm, precious, and caring the most is, it's always this time. Feeling warm, precious, and caring. It will always be the laughter in the courtyard at this time. Master. Cool breeze at night. Drape. Clothes. When Qingxian hugged a collar. Snow-white thick cloak. Gentle and considerate. Put on my shoulders. Eyes like water. Got interested. Miss Wen. Common people and earth spirits. Reconstruction is also completed. You from now on. Then stay in my sword pavilion. Be a big butler. I looked at her with a smile. Soft tone. 2 pieces of Wen Qingxuan's beautiful face flew up. Light ruby. The water in the beautiful eyes flows. Qingxian couldn't ask for it. Can always be with you. Around the benefactor. It is the honor of Qingxuan's life. The moonlight shines softly in the small courtyard. The shadows between the two of us are extremely long. overlapping. In the air, covered with mud, light medicinal fragrance and warmth and tranquility. Beautiful. One morning, the morning sun rises slowly. The golden light penetrated the dust and fog, sprinkled on the blue stone paths separated by rivers and lakes. Ning Xiaochuan and Muling got up early. Junior brother, let's go to the back mountain to pick some berries for chicken soup. Master likes to drink. Let's pick more and bring them back. Work. Ning Xiaochuan carries the golden iron axe. Wensheng said, okay, brother Xiaochuan. You'll bring it, boss. I'll call senior sister later. Go together. Mu Ling smiled. One shot. Little brain. Shout loudly. Full of energy. Su Qinghan walked out of the room. I gave birth to a big lazy waste. Early in the morning. What are you shouting about? Take me. Senior sister. He'll take you to the back mountain to catch Zubei's inspiration. No nonsense allowed. Are you? When you play the piano, all the ideas in the back mountain were struck by lightning. What to eat then? Su Qinghan said and laughed. The courtyard suddenly burst into laughter again. I'm lying on the chair, squinting. Watch them play. The mood is infinitely good. Go ahead. Slow down on the road. Earlier. Come back. Master is making a boxing banquet in the evening. Long live Master. Let's go. For apprentices are jumping around. Have fun. Carrying a bamboo basket, ran all the way out of the gate. The laughter spreads far in the valley. When Qingxian stood at the door, gentle smile. These children. So lively. Thanks to my benefactor for teaching me love and liveliness. Thanks to my benefactor for teaching and caring for me, so that they can be so healthy and worry-free. I drink spiritual tea. Have fun with everything. Cultivation shouldn't just be about killing people in the sky. Can forever protect this peace in the world. This is the greatest significance of my practice of reviewing common people. When Qingxuan's beautiful eyes are shining, nod hard. The benefactor has the world in mind. Qingxian. Ashamed. Able to follow my benefactor. It is truly the wisest choice for Qingxian in his life. Ding. It was detected that the housekeeper when Qingxian was extremely admired. Get 100x feedback. Congratulations to the host. Obtain the ancient treasure. Chaos golden armor. Physical strength is once again increased by 10,000 times. I feel happy. This wonderful fate. Not only can you become stronger by taking on a disciple, as long as the people around you give sincerity and admiration. Just strength. There is never any risk of injury. What a miracle. Sunset. The sky is stained. A layer of golden sunset. Far away. It came again from the mountain road. The joyous sound of the 4 apprentices returning in triumph. The setting sun lengthened their cheerful morality. Master. We caught a snowshoe rabbit. There are many more. And lots of sweet berries. Wood. Bell. Junior. So excited. The wooden bell is carrying a big bamboo basket. Return with a full load. Good. Go wash your face first. How dirty are the clothes? Master will cook you a meal tonight. The most fragrant in the world. The most delicious and delicious dinner. Long live the immortal master. Dejianghu. Long live Jianga. Cheers. Staying in the beautiful valley for a long time. Accompanied by the fragrant smoke. Shu shu sheng teng. Smoke bird. Melodious sound. In the warmest corner of this vast river and lake. I'm dressed in white. Looking at my disciples with a smile. My heart is filled with infinite warmth. Let the world change. I am at ease. As long as I have my disciples by my side. In this broken and warm interval. These years of practice are the great perfection of life.